Hey guys, welcome to Becca Scoops Live on Thursday night. I hope you guys are having a great week. I've had a busy week going over these calls. They just keep coming out, and we're learning more and more and more. And we're going to devote this live stream to a lot of them. So I hope you guys are ready for that. Yeah, these are ones that probably you've never heard. Pretty sure they're not. You have not. But before we get to all of that, let's say hello to the chat. I hope you guys are doing good. Thank you guys for showing up for my live. I always am humbled and so appreciative of everybody that's here. I'm going to go ahead and put the comments up so we can get that going. There we go. All right. And I want to, before we get into everything, so much to go over. I'm like a little nervous because there's so much I want to go over. And I'm hoping that we can fit this in, all of it in, that I have prepared for you. But before we get to that, let me go ahead and just thank all of my moderators. Thank you guys for being here. You guys know how much I appreciate you guys taking care of the chat and all of that. And I'm gonna be welcoming some other people. Let's see. We've got hold on. I want to say hi to Abs Marlowe, saying hi, 5 pounds, saying hi to you, and Keekins will be here. She will be here in a minute. She usually comes in about 10 minutes. This cat has like a routine. Now, in case I fall asleep, okay, I hope I make it through the live when it's actually live. All of these calls are so wild, just wow. Yeah, I totally agree. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for the 5 pounds. I really appreciate it. We've got Michelle Yeager, 235, $1.99. So glad to watch a live while it's happening. Well, welcome. I'm so glad you could make it. I'm excited for you to be here too. Next up, we've got Main Chick Carrie, one of our OGs, one of my mods. Thanks for being here. Member also for 16 months. Thank you so much, Main Chick Carrie. Oh my God, the mullet, cursed with bad hair. And I love that. I love that for her too. I love that for her too. We're going to be going over some funny things in the beginning, until I get to the serious stuff. You know how I do that. Next up, we've got one of our very, very favorites, Claire Power, over across the pond in the UK, who's gifted 5 Becca Scoops memberships. She's always so generous, always so supportive. So glad to see you, Claire. Thank you for being here. And we've got Jenna Howden, 7936, who also gifted 5 Becca Scoops memberships. Wow. You guys, if you're one of the lucky ones to get one of these, make sure you thank the appropriate people in chat. Thank you so much, Jenna. It's very generous of you. And we've got Taminator664 with $5. Hi, Becca. Been with you since June 2025. Wow. It's been a wild ride, right, Taminator? You are the person who opened my eyes to the real GRB. These phone calls are exposing them all big time, aren't they? And it gets crazier and crazier. Yeah. And next up, another OG, very, very favorite person to this channel, B. McKenna 2024 with $5. Love the new hair, Becca. Well, thank you so much. Your glow up, your glow up look. Yes. Does mine look better than Gypsy's? I hope so. Looks good on you, unlike the Swamp Demon. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm trying. I'm trying over here, I mean, the thing about Gypsy is if you think you need a glow up when you're 35, right? You know, but yeah, the hair did not work for her. Um, at Brittany, hey Brittany, member for 15 months at Brittany C. Love the new hair, Becca. Thank you so much, Brittany, and thank you for being here. And thank you most of all for being a member to our channel for 15 months. That's really great. And we've got Tori Grace, who I remember Tori was here last week on our live. Hey, Tori, who became a YouTube member this week. Well, welcome aboard. Welcome aboard, Tori. So glad that you're here. And let's do a couple more. We've got at Hello Kitty Cat, who gave us 250 jewels and a clapping seal. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. We've got at Eves Matthews, $5. Pretend the like button is Gypsy's face and punch it. Hey, I love that, Eve. Yeah, you guys, please hit the like button. It helps us with the algorithm. I would appreciate that too. Yes, but be careful. Don't break your computers or your phones or whatever you're on thinking it's Gypsy's face. Okay, and we got another OG member over here, Jill B 3072. Thanks for the live, Becca. Very much needed this. Well, you're very welcome, but thank you guys for being here. I need to thank you guys for actually showing up to listen to me. And let's do a couple more. We got some people. We got Mersey Me, 10 Jewels, and a Flowing Heart, who's also one of our longtime mods. Thanks for being here. We've got a Josie Appleby, 3084, with 1,000 jewels and a goat trophy. Thank you so much, Josie Appleby, 3384. And let's do one more, and then we'll get started. We got at Kimmy 101. 200 jewels and a sunshine. Well, you guys, thank you guys so much for all of that. I really appreciate it. Well, wait, one more, because I can't forget my Carolina girl. I can't forget my girl here. You guys, she has a great YouTube channel. She has a TikTok account too at Salty Carol. She's also known as Salty Carolina over on TikTok. She says, "Love you, Becca. I love you right back." She knows probably more than I do about this case. She has been here from the beginning, so you guys don't want to miss out on following her. She's the real deal. All right, guys, I am going to go ahead and start this live stream off with just some, cultural aspects is what I call it. If you missed my video yesterday on Ryan, I had to do that video yesterday. That guy going live. Okay, going live, okay, fine, right? I mean, I don't think he should be, but he goes live. And then what came out of his mouth for a couple of hours was him playing the victim, and we're all the haters. And I was just like, no. And I'm sure that was his mom calling him. If you don't know what I'm talking about, during his live, the phone started ringing a couple of times. Like someone was really trying to reach this guy. And I just started laughing and said, that's got to be his mom, or his mom telling his brother to call him and telling him to get off the internet. Right. Yeah, so I had to do that. I had to get that out of the way because I didn't want to devote the live stream to talking about Ryan Anderson, right? He doesn't deserve a live stream, right? So now I didn't want to talk about him, but I did do a video on him. But there's a few other things that I found that were pretty good that I wanted to share with you before we get into the really, like, what I call the meat and potatoes of this of the live stream, which is going to be the serious stuff and some of these calls that we just really need to go over that are going to open up eyes, I think. But before, like I say, we get to that, I wanted to bring you guys probably know Bev over on TikTok. I am laughing. I wanted to share this little video that she made.
We're just playing a game. Hey y'all, I just wanted to hop on here, show you guys that I got Parker. Here's Parker. See, there's Parker, Ken's dog. Thank you. Yes, I know.
So just in case, I'm just going to interrupt Bev at one point here. In case you didn't know, what she's parroting here, of course, is Gypsy. She's got the mullet going, right? But and she does it perfectly. That the hair. Gypsy did she came on an Instagram live where all she was doing was she was wearing this long sleeve outfit or top, and she's in Louisiana, the South. Those of you that aren't Americans, look, the South, Louisiana in August, you're talking humid, one of the most humid places in the world, all right now. And so she was wearing this kind of top, as you see Bev is wearing this long sleeve top, which was really inappropriate. And then all she was doing during this Instagram live was brushing Ken's dog. So that's what Bev is parroting here. And so let's go ahead and watch this. It's really funny.
I just wanted to hop on here, show you guys that I got Parker. Here's Parker. See, there's Parker, Ken's dog. Thank you. Yes, I know I'm wearing. It's chilly. I don't know. It's like 90 degrees in Louisiana. It's so weird. So yeah. But it must be really hot for Parker. I just need to brush and brush and brush him. Just been brushing him all day. Like, get all this fur, you guys. It's insane. Also, my hair. Do you guys like my hair? I know, I need to brush it. It's a little greasy, but I'm so glad I paid thousands of dollars for this. But yeah, Parker. Thank you. Oh, Aurora, honey, don't touch that. She's just playing with her toys. No, don't touch that, honey. No. Thank you. I know I'm wearing a long sleeve in hot weather. It's chilly for me. But you know, I'm brushing Parker because it's so hot. Makes so much sense. Thank you. No, don't touch that, honey. No. No. Thank you. Don't touch that! We're just playing a game.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to hop on here, say hi to you guys, prove that I have Parker. I'm allowed to be near Parker. Ken's dog Parker. I'm allowed to have Parker. This is Parker, guys. See, Parker. So I did this live, okay? So, bye.
Yeah, that is so classic. I love Bev. If you guys don't know who Bev is, I'm sure most of you know who Bev is over on TikTok. She does these parodies and they're always hysterical. They're always spot on. If you need a link, it's in the description box. I have added her in the description box knowing that I was going to play this clip during my live. So go ahead and check her out. We appreciate her so much, bringing a little humor to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. We need humor with Gypsy Rose Blanchard, right? Now, another thing that happened, and of course, I'm going to get to the calls, don't worry, but another thing that I was really, as a pet owner and a dog owner and a cat owner, found this clip. I think this one is thanks to 1980 Millennial. I'm not sure exactly who caught it first. Probably she did because I know she's been really doing a hell of a job getting the calls out. This is Ryan hitting his mother's dog. And I'm sure maybe a lot of you have heard this, but it's a really quick clip. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Yeah, turn it off.
Hey, baby.
Hey, sweetie. Yeah, just turn it back off and turn it back on and see if it helps.
No, girl. Come here. Dog took off down the road, baby.
So he's like, little girl, come here. Little girl's the name of his mother's dog, just to fill you guys in.
Oh, that's kind of hot. The way you do
Yeah.
that. I wish you
Yeah.
yell at me like that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. No, girl. Come here. Hold on, baby.
Okay.
Where the fuck did she go? All right, hold on. All right, here she is. Oh, you're ass in grass now, little girl. Come here. I said no. Come here.
So you just heard that. You just heard that. Now he's going to admit what he did.
I know, I had to, baby. She went around the corner.
Where
I
y'all
know.
at?
She's all right.
So that is the link. I can't remember exactly who showed. Well, 1980, I think, is the person. So I'm going to have to add her link. I think that's where this call comes. I always like to give credit, but I just wanted to say that's really concerning because, of course, he has Pixie, right? And you just caught him doing that. Did he beat the dog to death? No, obviously he did not, but he did hit the dog. And you're not supposed to do that. It's not the way you're supposed to discipline animals, and it's not what they understand. Okay, but of course he had to go ahead and do that. All right, now the next little clip I'm going to play is going to feed in to clips that people that are helping me find clips found. This is a threat. This is something we've already heard, but I want to play it. Want to play this threat coming from Gypsy because we're going to hear another one. Okay. We're going to hear something similar, meaning after you hear this, and then I'm going to play one that we just found. This is something she's threatening people with, and you'll understand after I play it. Here we go.
And she's not going to let anything come in her way of that.
This is thanks to Haiti Joyless. All right, here we go.
Here's the thing. I love you with all of my heart, but the last thing I'm going to do is sacrifice my freedom again. And if it's choice between my freedom and this marriage, I'm going to pick my freedom. Because that's what I'm always going to pick. That's what I killed my mother for. My own mother.
That's what I killed my mother for, my own mother for.
So best believe nothing comes before my freedom.
So in her twisted little demon head, murdering her mother and removing her from the planet gave her freedom, but she wound up in prison. Okay, prison. And she's not going to let anything come in her way of that. So watch out if you get in her way. And it just gets worse, so let's keep going.
I don't think she deserves to be in heaven. No, I don't. But that's not up to me.
That's Christy's voice.
It's up to the big man upstairs. You know?
I think the way I feel about it is she done me wrong, I done her wrong, we're even.
Well, Christy was right. It's not up to her. Christy didn't actually really know much about her. She just hated her because she dated her husband before she was with him. She got there first, so Christy doesn't like her because of that. And for Gypsy to say, she did me wrong, I did her wrong, we're even. Excuse me, ma'am, but murdering someone is far beyond anything that was allegedly done to you and wasn't even done to you, because there's never been a solid, single piece of proof showing that anything you claimed ever happened. It's all just your word against someone who is not here to defend themselves. I'm annoyed. I could say so much more, but let's just move on to the last one.
As I told you, I don't give a rat's ass about anybody else. I think it's made perfectly clear the fact that I'm on a fucking murder charge. I'm gonna do what the fuck I wanna do. I'm gonna give my own fucking murder just so I can live for everybody else.
You heard her. She didn't get her own fucking mother murdered just so she could live for anybody else. Comes from the horse's mouth itself. Just take a look into these black little beady eyes. There's no soul there. There's no soul at all. If you were on her side before, after all of these calls came out with the racism, the P3DO stuff, and now her speaking like this about her own mother, if you're still defending her, you need a lot of help. That's all I can say. Please leave your opinions, no matter what they are.
Okay, so that's thanks to Haiti Driller. She strung a couple of those quotes, okay, together from the prison phone calls, these threats, her talking about why she did the murder. She's very proud of it. She's like, I didn't murder my mother for no reason. You think you're going to come between me and my freedom? Think again. I murdered my mother for that. Okay. Note, it wasn't because I had to save my own life that I murdered my mother, right? She calls it her freedom, which meant she wanted to go date guys. And her mom didn't want her to date a 36-year-old. And Gypsy got upset about that and decided to start plotting her murder, right? Okay, so in this phone call, I gotta bring it up here. Hold on. This is to the first one I have. Yep. Here we go. This is Gypsy talking to Ryan on December 3rd, 2023. This is going to be a couple minutes. It's a long phone call, but we're not listening to most of it. This has to do with the threat, as I said before, but you're going to need the context of that. So I will be playing a little bit of the conversation that goes before the actual threat. Okay.
I don't have the freedom to be friends with who I want to, or have the freedom to just have a friendship. I have to walk on eggshells with you.
No, you don't.
Well, that's what you make me feel.
Oh, I'm sorry, but I don't. I don't care. Like, you're friends with Davey, you're friends with this. I mean, that is weird calling dudes all the time. Like, that's weird to me.
It's weird to you because you have 3 friends. That's it. And
So now I don't have any fucking friends.
you have 3 friends, and then you have your family. So like, I'm exposed to a lot of different people, and I'm having to kind of choose if I want to meet people and have friendships with them, and then like piss you off, and then you're insecure, and then it's just, we've had to fight so many fucking times.
And then whenever something comes up and you're like, I was just joking. No, you weren't. You weren't just joking. Because if you, why would you joke about something like that? Like, there's a level of playing around, and then there's this conditioning me to be like, so I hope you don't mind, but I sent a message to my friend Adam, and you're like, who's Adam? And I'm like, we've been pen pals for like 5 years. Well, you're not FaceTiming with him. And then I tell you, oh, well, you know, Brian wants to FaceTime with me. Well, you're not doing that.
You want to FaceTime on the day you want to FaceTime Brian on the day you get out?
No, but I mean, that should be my choice.
Well, it is. Like, do you think I would really, like, get the fuck off the phone if you were on it?
No, I would think that you would get pissed off at me.
Well, I wouldn't get so pissed off where I'd be mad at you. Like, that wouldn't happen. I was like, oh my goodness, really? And then that's it.
Yeah.
Like, babe, I know you're going to make friends, and that's what I want. I want you to make friends, baby. Like, you're going to make friends. You're going to be introduced to a lot of new people.
Okay.
You know, like, that's just going to naturally happen. Now, do I want dudes always calling you? No. Like, I'm a husband. You know, I don't want that. That's just me not wanting my wife, you know, being flirted with. I'm sorry if you don't like that.
No, you're fine. I forgot. I forgot about the whole thing. I'm married now, so I can't have any friendships with anybody of the opposite sex. I forgot. That was like my bad. Oh my God. I just forgot for a second. So I'm sorry.
Okay, smart ass.
No, I'm not being a smart ass.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. You're being a big smart ass.
I'm not.
Yeah, you are. Now you're making it seem like I'm the fucking asshole.
No. I'm not.
Yeah, no, I am. Like, you're right. I'm the asshole.
You're not an asshole.
Yeah, I'm the asshole.
You're not.
Whatever. Yeah, whatever.
It's just one of those things that, you know, I'm coming out soon, and I'm excited.
Well, you don't think I'm excited?
Oh, I know you are. I know you are.
Okay, Gypsy. Okay.
What are you opening? We're good. We're fine.
Yeah, we're great. We're great. We're great.
I mean, what do you want me to say? What else do you want me to say?
Good night. That's it.
I'm not getting off the phone. I don't know what to do about
About what?
About the insecurity vibes that you put off.
Insecurity vibes. Who am I insecure of, babe? Who am I really insecure of? You think that you're going to leave me for Brian? I don't feel that.
No, I think that you're insecure in the different types of people that I come into contact with. And I think that you're afraid that I'm going to leave you for someone better. Or someone that you might perceive as better because they might be more good looking or have a better job or have a whatever, have a nice car, whatever that you perceive as better.
Well, do you think anybody's better? Because I don't feel anybody's better than me.
I'm good, but I think it's just, you know, the way you act sometimes.
Well, I'll work on it. I will work on it. I mean, when you're at home, it's not going to be like, you realize, like, where you are, I don't know, like, you could call, like, you know, you tell me you call people all the time, and I've never heard that before. You know, like, you're like, oh, I call random people all the time. I'm like, okay.
I mean, I don't do it all the time. No, I don't do it all the time.
That's what you said all weekend. Like, you called this dude, you called him, and it's not a good conversation, so why would I continue to be friends?
I called two people.
And now you're Facebooking people all the time, and I'm like, okay. And like, I mean, you're closer to getting out. Are you wanting to look for other people?
I'm not. But the way, I don't know. It's almost like I have to report back to you. Like, okay, are you looking at my Facebook? Are you looking through my messages? Now that you have my password.
Maybe, but I don't look at your messages.
I mean, you know, that's
but I don't.
That's the downside of having of the passwords that I don't like. Is like, are you snooping on me? There's no.
But I'm not. Like, I didn't even know you talked to half these people. You remember? I was like, who the fuck's Tanner? And you were obviously already talking to him. I had no fucking clue. I had no clue, like, because I'm not snooping on your fucking Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
The only time I ever look at your Facebook is when you ask me to look at it.
Okay.
Like, honest to God, that's just fucking truth.
Okay.
Like, that's the only time I ever look at it.
Okay.
And that's the only time I'm ever going to look at it when you get out. Like, I don't need to look at it.
I believe you.
I mean, I'll work on my insecurities. The reality is I don't want to lose you. I don't. And I'm sorry if that comes across bad. I don't want to lose you. I don't like being put at risk to lose you.
Exactly. That is something we need counseling for, because that's very unhealthy.
I understand, and I will work on it.
Okay.
But it's going to be better when you're here, and you're actually here, and I can see you and love on you and touch you. And then I can see you. Like right now, I can't see you, touch you, so it's different because, like, you know, I might feel like out of sight, out of mind. Like, the other day you thought I would put you on the back burner, so that's when you started calling all these people. Like, are you gonna do that when I'm home? When you're home, you're gonna feel like you're on the back burner, so you're gonna feel left out. So you're gonna start reaching out and finding people to fill that void.
But is that so wrong to reach out to friends? And
it's not wrong to reach out to friends. It's that, like, my boundaries, and that's it. That's the only boundary I ever have with you. Let them know that you're married. That's it.
I have, and I've respected those boundaries.
And I never said you haven't. I've never questioned you.
Okay.
As far as, like, I don't believe you. I've never once said that to you. I do not think you there is somebody else. I do not.
Okay.
And I will work on my insecurities. I will work on.
I mean, part of me is like, this is the shit you should be talking about with Tucker, and this is why.
How do you know how do you know I don't? How do you know I don't talk to Tucker about things?
Nothing's changed in this area with us. We're still having the same argument over and over and over again. I told you before we even got married, I'm like, what you do is you isolate me. And it's not that you're saying directly, I don't want you to talk to this person. It's you're guilt tripping me by, I just feel like I'm so scared to lose you. Yeah, my mom did that, and I'm here for her murder. So is that how you want to end up?
Whoa. Okay. Is that how you want to end up? My mom did that to me too, and I'm here for her murder. So is that how you want to end up? Wow. Whoa. Yeah, I can't take credit for finding this. Someone on my, that helps me out found this, and kudos to them. This was woo. All right. Let's bring it back just a little bit. We can just hear her say it one more time.
Before we even got married, I'm like, what you do is you isolate me. And it's not that you're saying directly, I don't want you to talk to this person. It's you're guilt tripping me by, I just feel like I'm so scared to lose you. Yeah, my mom did that, and I'm here for her murder. So is that how you want to end up? If you don't trust me, if we don't have trust, real trust in this relationship, and it's the only way you can trust me is if you can touch me and see me, that's not trust. That is obviousness. Obviously, I'm not doing anything because you're looking at me. But when I walk away in another room, then you're like, oh my God, I gotta limit who she's talking to. She can't talk to this person, but I don't want to tell her she can't talk to this person. Tell my guilt trip her. Like, that is what we have found ourselves in. And that's how the relationship has always been.
Really?
I mean, I understand that once you can see me.
Really? That's what I've done. Well, I apologize for doing that to you.
And that was the end of that call. Yeah. That was the end of that. And I was just like, whoa, okay. I mean, 2 peas in a pod, they are, right? the difference between them, Ryan hasn't murdered anybody, and she's using that. She's using it, and he got real quiet. She paused for a minute there, like, is he going to say anything after I threaten his life? And he didn't. He was just probably like, what the fuck, right? Couldn't happen to a nicer guy, by the way, to have that threat, right? I wish I could have seen his face. But on the other hand, you got both of them. You got her actually saying something like that, right? I mean, wow. And knows she's being recorded saying it and admitting here her true feelings, which is her in her mind, my mom isolated me. So that's why I had to murder her. That's why I murdered that bitch, is kind of her attitude, right? You know what happened to her? You want that to happen to you too? Might want to back off. I was just floored. I was floored. I'm floored by how she does tell on herself too, right? Because obviously she didn't murder her mom because my mom was gonna cut my throat and have an operation on my throat. Yeah, just save it, okay? Just so done with that. It's it's such a lie. All right. I wanted to bring you guys that. Obviously, I wanted to bring you that. Was there something else that went with that? I don't think so. Well, if there was something that goes with that, I will find it. Let's go ahead and get to the I got to stop sharing that. So I'm sharing these little ones. I'm going to stop that one and I'm going to bring up the next one. Let's see. Let's go ahead and do, since we're on Ryan, I'll go ahead and get Ryan out of the way. We'll go ahead and do this one. This is just a, you know, Ryan's real racist, but this is interesting. This is another time that he does say something totally racist.
Well, you got to realize, like, you are the only thing I've ever wanted. And I get you in like 20 fucking 6 days or wherever it is.
23.
Oh, shit. Good. And I've had a lot happen today.
What happened
Like,
to you?
oh, well, I had a good meeting this morning with Travis's mom,
Good.
black lady.
Good.
Looks like a big gorilla.
Who looked like a big gorilla. And of course, you heard her laughing. The minute he said black lady, she starts laughing because she knows it's going to be funny. She knows there's going to be a joke behind it. Don't tell me she's not a closeted racist, okay? And that she still is. How did she grow since then? How did she grow since then? This call is like in 2023. 2023, the end of 2023. So tell me. Yeah. So I just wanted to play that for you guys real quick before we get into some really deep stuff, some real trigger warning stuff. I mean, this was a little trigger warning. This was just a little one. That one, you know, he said way worse than that, but I thought I would just add that one too. All right, let me think about which one we want to go to next, how I want to do this. All right, let's go ahead. I'm going to be going back and forth between a couple different themes here. I have stuff that has to do, I have a phone call that is it's a 30-minute phone call, okay? And I didn't know how, I think we're going to have to listen to the whole thing. This is salacious, this is crazy, this is, I don't know what other adjectives to use. This is Dee Dee's sister, Claudia, confronting Gypsy about the sexual abuse allegations. It is quite a phone call. So let's go ahead and go to that. Okay, which one is it? Hold on. That's Claudia. Okay, here we go.
Yes.
Hello?
Oh, no, Lord, no, you screaming at me.
Can you hear
What's happening? Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, good.
This call is December 2nd, 2023. Gypsy's just a few weeks before she gets out. Of course, we know now that, she put in, they were asking Gypsy to bring stuff that nobody ever knew. So when you go to make like a documentary, like with these big production companies, what is very, very valuable for them, the selling points, are things like never before seen, never before heard. And so Gypsy decided to add this story about her grandfather, right? And so that brings us to this phone call now between Gypsy and her Aunt Claudia, who of course is Dee Dee's older sister, but Aunt Claudia is also Gypsy's godmother.
Good. So your phone doesn't know how to like register my call?
No. Just, I made a Cruzy and him check. It's not even blocked. Like I told your husband last night, he said, well, maybe you have her blocked. I said, why would I have her blocked? If I have her blocked, I'd have you blocked.
True. Well,
You never answered me back.
Well, what's funny? I called one of my friends, has one of them new Google
Mhm,
phones,
mhm.
and she couldn't seem to answer on the Google phone. And
Before I won't interrupt anymore. I'm just going to play it because it's long. But I want you guys to notice something about this call, how Gypsy adopts her accent as it goes on.
she had to call her company and have it like register.
Yes,
I don't know. She
Persian
had to call the
block,
company
yes.
because, but I mean, thankfully we don't have to worry about that much longer because I'm gonna. My husband's buying me an
Call me
iPhone,
from his phone, yeah.
so I'm gonna have a different number, and I'm sure you have an iPhone.
I don't know what kind of phone I have, this. iPhone.
Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have the same kind of phone, and so like when I text you, I think it highlights in blue or something, so where when I read it, I know when you read it.
Oh, yeah. I could tell if somebody read my message, yeah.
So,
Yeah. Except now it makes it a little bit difficult because now I have to put in a code. And it just shows me like if Tiffany texts me, I could just speak in my phone, and if I don't want to answer it right away, I could see a little bit.
All right, she's a fast talker. I'm going to slow it down. I mean, I had it a little bit fast, but Aunt Claudia is kind of a fast talker. So let me go ahead and slow it down.
What she's asking me. Now I have to go open it and put my pen in and then see, and it's like, oh man, because I go to bed early sometimes.
Well, how you doing?
I'm good, and you?
Doing good. I'm getting ready to get out on the
Right.
and
Right.
And we're gonna have like a little get together in Kansas City. I'm going to a Kansas City Chiefs game that Sunday.
Ha ha ha! No, you're not.
With my husband.
Might see Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I'm hoping. And,
I don't like her.
Well, not every.
Oh, Aunt Claudia throwing the shade. I don't like her. I don't like that girl, Taylor Swift. I don't like her at all. Not one bit.
I don't like her.
That's perfectly fine. So I mean, each his own. But no, I really want to give you a call because I really want to get together, and I don't know when would be a good time for you. It doesn't have to be right away. I'm gonna be very busy the first 3 weeks that I'm out.
I'm a kind of a celebrity if you don't know Aunt Claudia.
Right.
But February looks very open. Whenever is good for you. I don't know your work schedule or anything.
Right.
I talked to Tiffany whenever she went and get her nails done.
Tiffany is Claudia's daughter.
Because so I think the last time I had talked to you, they were making a 6.
Yes, thanks, Mersey. Yeah, thanks for telling me. I got to do trigger warning. This call is trigger warning. It's going to turn into a big trigger warning. Okay, guys, just for SA, anyone who has issues with SA or hearing about it, Please, 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 trigger warning. Thanks for the reminder, Mersey.
episode documentary.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to air at the beginning of January on Lifetime Network.
Well, what is it? What is it that went to Papa's house? Who went to Papa's house? The movie or a book?
It was the documentary people.
And you know he was by himself when they went over there?
No, I don't. I wasn't, told.
Well, the question that I'm going to ask you was, how did this molestation all come about at 5 years old?
It wasn't 5. So this is really hard to talk about, but Papa molested me when I was over at Claude and Laura's, after me and Mom had the accident in 2001.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and
on the what boat it was?
It was remember how he had the boat and Laura had that boat?
Now this part, when I get to this part, and she goes, "What boat was it, or what boat was it on?" And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, because the molestation story is kind of well known, right? It's in the one of the where they confront him, right? They confront him, and then it's also in the memoir. She details it, and I'm thinking, what boat, or a boat? How does a boat fit into the molestation story, right? And that's when I just said my ears were glued to this call. I'm like, a boat? What boat? I don't remember a boat.
They said it was the Lady Loy.
Okay, was it?
And they said it was in the back room of the Lady Loy.
It wasn't the Lady
That's what they said.
Okay, well they were mistaken. It was whatever boat that they had at the time in 2001. I don't remember what it was called, the Laura Lee.
Well, that's what they said, the Lady Loy. Yeah, they had 2 boats.
Yeah, well, it was not the Lady Loy, it was the Laura Lee. And it happened throughout the course of me and Mom staying there.
But how old you were, Will?
I was 9.
9.
I was 9.
Hmm.
Yeah. And Nanny, I could tell you things about what happened that's sick. I don't. This is what
because
happened.
Okay. Now, do you remember when the accident happened?
Yeah.
And y'all moved there, and the box of stuff that was in the shed. You remember all the adult toys your mama had?
No, I don't remember.
And do you remember telling them that my mommy massages my muscles with that?
No.
Wow,
no,
they remember.
I never said
They
those.
remember. Oh yeah, when you were younger. Oh yeah, they remember that.
Well,
They remember that because we questioned him about it. Me, Uncle Yogi, and Uncle Pookie, and Uncle Tay were all there, and we questioned him about this. And I asked him, I said, well, if you suppose it, because he said, I did what? He said. And then somebody said it was the Lady Loy in the bathroom of the Lady Loy.
He knows what he did to me. He fingered my pussy. He made me.
I just can't. How she? Okay, I'm gonna not say anything until the end.
He touched his penis. He made me do all this in the shower, and he made me sit on his lap. He used to.
So why y'all have to put that in a movie or a book or whatever the hell? What is that about?
Because that is what happened to me, Nanny. That was wrong. You know that's wrong. I was not.
Well, if that was wrong, why y'all waited till now to bring this up?
Well, because that's a deep trauma. Like that seriously fucked me up. Like, and this is my voice.
I don't understand how that messed you up.
How that messed me up? Because I don't know how to be intimate.
You know how tangled that's gonna make it seem like, well, you ran away with this guy to the motel, and you was trying to run away with all these men, like your mama would say, and it's like, what? How?
Well, I was an adolescent. You know what I'm saying? My mama didn't teach me about sex, and so how I learned about sex was from watching porn on the internet when I was 18.
You was watching porn on the internet?
Yeah, that's how I learned about sex. And then I realized by watching the things that they were doing, I'm like, that's what Claude did to me. Like, the things that happened, at the time I didn't know it was wrong. I didn't. Like, I was 9. I had no idea what sex was.
I don't know if he was 9 years old.
I mean,
You was really, really young. I don't remember you being 9 years old over
I
here.
think that's when the accident happened in 2001, when me and Mom lived with Claude and Laura. And I mean, he took me into Laura's like closet. You know how she had a big closet? He put me up on one of her like stool things and ate my pussy.
Oh God.
And I mean, like, this is all stuff that has happened to me. And I'm like, it's more than just the things that Mom did. I'm like, I was molested by a
Well, that's what I'm
family.
telling you. That's what I'm telling you. Before that, when Mom was in the hospital, you the one that told everybody that the box of stuff that they found in the shed, you said, don't touch that. My mama massages my muscles with that. And then you used to tell us your mama would handcuff you to the bed. How much stuff your mama must have did
She didn't.
that you did not know?
She didn't molest me, Nanny. Like, she didn't molest me. Like, she didn't do that. Like, the handcuffing to the bed was when I had ran away from home, and that was in Missouri. That wasn't in Louisiana. And so, you know, I know that it's a family thing, and I know from more than one family member that he did that too. So I know that it's probably very difficult to cope with, and I know that probably in the family, we want to keep it in the family, right? I get that.
Well, how you want to do that? If you send a crew, if y'all send a crew to his house, how y'all want to keep that in the family?
Well,
That's not that's exposing people.
For the
That's what that did. That's what that's what I said.
He deserved it.
And you the one that would call and say, well, how's Papa doing? Well, if you knew he did do that, why even ask how he's doing?
Because, you know, I mean, I wanted to know if I wanted to know if he was still going to be alive at the time I got out.
Well, yeah, he's still alive. But I would almost say, don't go over there.
Oh, absolutely not. Like, I don't want anything to do with
Don't go over there.
I don't.
Because that's exactly what we told him.
Yeah, I don't.
Do whatever you want. Do not allow her in your house. And
By the way, just take a breather here. Just take a break. Again, trigger warning. A lot of this, the whole thing. I'm not an SA survivor, and this triggered me. Also, I want to thank Lori, the dream expert. I'll put her link in my description box. She is the one who found this call. Lori, the dream expert, my partner in crime, found this call. And I'm going to be, if you guys aren't subbed up to her, if one of my mods could go get her link. I forgot to do that before. And she's going to be saying, but yeah, this was quite a find. This call was quite a find by her.
she won't go to your house.
Yeah, no, I'm never going to take my kids there. When I have kids, I'm never going to take my family there. Like, nobody wants, like, I'm going to leave him be. He's older.
Right.
And he's,
Right.
And I said, when they asked me, do you want to press charges? And I don't know if there's a statute of limitation, but I said, no, I'm not going to press charges. And this
He's
is
going to
why
fight with his own demons.
I said that I am going to let it be because he's older, much older, and I do not want to cause the family any more pain. I said that happened to me, and you know, I can only do something for myself, but I'm not the creator. I'm not going to be who judges in the afterlife.
My God, nope.
So,
Nope.
with that being said, I felt like having a voice for myself and saying, hey, this happened to me, might prevent him from molesting somebody else in the family.
Right.
I just know that in our family, things happen that we don't talk about. But that's just, like, that's kept me in a state of trauma.
Right.
And I'm going to have to go to a therapist and talk about these things. Like, I'm not comfortable with my body. When I have sex with my husband for the first time, my mind's going to go to what happened when I was 9. So,
How you in jail? How? I don't understand that. What kind of jail is that?
what are you talking about?
You said the first time you had sex with your husband.
No. I mean,
How the hell that happened? You in jail?
No, I'm gonna when I get out.
Oh, because I'm still not understanding how you even married in jail. You got to know this person. Yeah, I know, but what's the reason? You should have waited when you got out, and he would have loved you. He'd still been there.
Because I love
You
him.
went too fast.
I want to live with him, and I love him. He's so good. Like, man, he's a
Yeah, but to every book there's a back, but a front and a back of a book. Better be super careful. You don't want to fall into a trap like he's just baiting you. You don't want none of that. You already did your time. You already like I told you when I met you the first time. You're free behind bars. Now you're getting ready to be free to fly. But I mean, I'm still angry what happened. But I love you because you're still my godchild. You're still my sister's child. I mean, you're gonna have to understand. It's gonna be a little bit bitter between everybody. But we don't want to see nothing happen more to you because it won't be by us. We are not gonna do nothing to hurt you like that. No, you've done been hurt enough. But like I said, as far as interviews and stuff, I done talked to the lady about the book, and I was sending her some pictures and all. But when she mentioned Christy's name, you already know I can't stand that girl.
Claudia cannot stand Christy. Just wanted to say that's what she's saying right here. I cannot stand that girl. She was talking about the producers were looking to Claudia to be a part of this and asking her for pictures. Never before seen footage, like I tell you guys, right? And Claudia says, well, I was helping her out until she mentioned Christy's name. Until the producer, Melissa, mentioned Christy's name. And I can't stand that girl.
You already know. So I told her, do not call me. Don't ask me for nothing because I'm not giving you no more information that you need to know. She's not getting nothing from me. And it's not to hurt you. Because I already told you, when that book comes out, you better get me a signed book. And I better not have to ask.
No.
And I said, I'm not doing no more movies. I'm not doing no more interviews. That's over. That's done.
Yeah, well,
the connection I'm going to have is going to be when I'm going to see you, and I'm not going to see you in front of a camera, and I'm not going to see you. I'll call you and say, well, hey, where you want to meet this weekend? I don't even know where y'all going to live. Call me. I'll come find you. I'll come visit the whole day with you. I don't care. That's not going to be far.
Exactly.
That's not going to be far. We can spend the whole weekend. I can find a place and spend the Saturday and come home the Sunday. I don't care.
Right. And that's why.
Because I don't have nothing with you like that.
That's why I wanted to talk to you and see your comfortability level and figure out, because like I talked to Tiffany, we're doing a documentary after I get out of prison.
Right,
where they follow me for 3 months.
Right.
And it's not about anything about the past. And so Tiffany, she feels comfortable doing it. You don't, and I understand that, and I'm never going to.
I want to love you. I want to love you out of the cameras. Nope.
That's fine. That's fine.
Like I said, I'm not. It's not. It's. If it would have been that she would have died in jail, it would have been a whole different ballgame.
I know.
But I mean, you have to understand now. We still. I mean, she's my sister. I'm not forgetting about her, but I'm forgetting about it. It's eventually gonna fade away.
Yeah.
And as far as if that whatever you say is with him, he's gonna deal with that because he ain't got too much longer left to live either.
I know.
So everybody's gonna, he's fading away every day. But hey, look, like I said, I go every other weekend. Except this time I didn't go because Dara had that surgery. But he's got to live with his demons and his conscience. And I already done stated to him a long time ago, if you ever try anything with me, I will. I mean, it's over. I will never come back to your house again. Never. And he knows I'm serious.
Right.
So, nope.
I hope you would know that I would never lie on a family member. I would never do that. There's no reason for me to cause the family any more pain. Like, it happened, and I'm gonna cope and I'm gonna get therapy.
And you will be fine. And as far as your therapy, if your husband is the man that you say he is, that's the therapy you need.
Yeah.
That's all, you know.
So
That's the one that's gonna see you through it.
yeah. So that's what I need is I just need some therapy and I need
Yeah.
to deal with the past in my own time.
Right.
And
Right.
it's like I told Tiffany, I called Tiffany a couple months ago and I said, Tiffany, listen, I'm talking to these documentary people about things that are outside of just me and my mom. And I told her, and I'm like, the family might be pissed at me, but it's my voice, it's my story, it's my life. And if I want to expose it at this point in my life after holding it in because of the negative stigma, then that's on me. That's me opening up my life and letting it go.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm sorry to anybody that takes offense to it. But it's like, you know, it is what it is. At least I'm not pressing charges on him or trying to take him to jail.
Right.
So, but aside from all of that, like, I love you, and I don't know who all wants to have anything to do with me. I'm like, I've sent Uncle Cookie.
Well, the boys don't say nothing. They don't say nothing.
I've sent them friend requests on Facebook.
Yeah.
And never heard back.
Okay, so I'm going to pause it here, okay? Because I know some of this can be kind of confusing. None of us were there. Gypsy is a huge liar. I can tell you guys, okay. There's other stuff that I found out today where another cousin talks about the same kind of thing, okay? The problem is, where is this boat story coming from? So I haven't really gathered all my thoughts about this, except A, Gypsy's a huge liar, right? And B, it seems Claudia was kind of miffed with her over it, right? In the beginning, but then she kind of goes into, well, you know, he's going to pass away and he's going to have his own demons. Was she saying that just to, I don't know, validate Gypsy in some small way? I don't know. I'd love to know your guys' thoughts and feelings on this, obviously. So I'm just going to continue. It's almost the important part of this call is almost done. At the very end, they just talk about kind of logistics and stuff.
Nope. That's just the way they're feeling.
I sent you a friend request on Facebook, and you never.
No, your husband, somebody sent me one, and I didn't respond because my thing about this is, it's not a three-way. It's a me and you.
Okay, well.
And you get out, and I still have it. I can show you.
This is funny. She's dogging Ryan here because Gypsy's been using Ryan kind of as her outside go-to guy, like talking to people, right? And Claudia's like, no, this isn't a three-way. Meaning Ryan's not involved. Our relationship, Claudia's saying, is between me and you. So I'll just wait for you to get out, okay? I'm not going through Ryan, is what Claudia's saying.
I can show the kids. I'm not lying. I still have it in my messenger.
Okay, well, I
still have it. I never erased it.
Okay.
And and when you get out, I'm here. I'm not going nowhere. My number's still the same.
Okay.
Maybe not everybody feels the same way over there, but that's like I said. You still belong to my sister.
Right.
You want to have left of my sister. It didn't end in the right way, but you.
And I think for in Claudia's behalf here, this part of it is very valuable to me in that you are still a part of my sister. Not exactly sure what Claudia believes or doesn't believe, but I believe she loved her sister. And so I think that this is her sister's child, even though the sister's child murdered her sister, right? She's still trying to give her kind of a little bit of an olive branch here, saying, look, I'm not shutting you completely out. You are, my sister's child.
Still my sister's child. You are still my godchild.
Yeah.
But if it's to do in front of a camera, no, I don't want none of that. But and if it's around Christy, I don't want to be around Christy either. I don't want to ever meet up with her. I don't want us to be going on the same day to see you. Nope, no.
Oh, no.
Not happening.
We live like 3.5 hours away, so
Right. Right.
And they got their own life. They got
right.
Right.
No, but you can bet I'm going to be going next weekend. down the boy, and I'm going to have some choice words with my father. Oh, he's going to hear a piece of my mind. I'm asking if he was fucking crazy or what the deal is. Like I said, we heard that happened in the lady law, in the bathroom, and there was no bathroom in the lady law.
I know.
My brothers all said, well, that's not true, because there was no bathroom in the lady law.
So this is where I get confused, because in one end she's like, I'm going to go talk to my father, and then in the other hand she's like, but we heard this happened on the Lady Loy. The story was this boat, but there's no bathroom on this boat, and so she said my brother said these things can't be true. So I'm just playing it.
Things get misconstrued whenever, like, they call it a
Yeah.
telephone game. If one person says something and there's 10 people, they tell it.
Oh yeah.
Or something.
Well, like I said, then I said, well, he already is hard of hearing. He don't hear at all. You go in his house, the TV's blaring loud, and he can't hear. So it's like he don't hear. So well, maybe he misunderstood what they said. I don't know. I have no clue.
According to the lady that interviewed him, he said that he never touched me, that I had approached him to be touched.
Right.
And that I stuck because you remember my mom used to let me suck on the baby bottle, and until I was like, God, an adult. And so he said that I stuck the baby bottle in my vagina. That's what he told the people that interviewed him.
Yeah.
And I know that didn't happen. I'm like, I know everything else that happened, but
a lot of little kids does that, but not that. They touch themselves.
yeah, but not, they don't have something not there, you know.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's gross. And weird. You know, but it's like, you know, my mom never had men around. She never like she didn't.
And you see, that's another thing we heard too. We heard that your mom had some around and was doing that stuff with you there.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, and I don't know who is saying these rumors, but what I do know, okay, what I do know is that Dee Dee did not date anyone. We know that. She devoted her whole life, right, to Gypsy. She was not dating anybody. So I don't know who the rumors, where these rumors are coming from, or who Claudia is referring to, you know, and we heard this. Who are the we? You know, who is she hearing these salacious stories about Dee Dee from? I don't know.
I don't remember none of that. Like my mom.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You see, that's what I'm saying. That was when you was younger. You know.
And I know my mom had maybe like one or two friends. One guy named
Right.
Mark.
Right.
Used to come around. Mark Payson.
Right.
And he used to come around. But
Yeah.
I don't remember nothing about Mark touching me or nothing like that. You know?
Right.
I
Right.
go far as back as being
Would
like.
you quit? You're the one that wanted to interview at 1:00. Well, I'm trying to talk in, Tiffany and all. We in my car. We're going to Texas, and I'm trying to answer you some questions, talking in riddles. And you can scream or you can sing FFF.
What's going on?
He's got some earplugs on.
I'm like, what's going on over there?
No, it's his birthday today, Cruz. He's 13 today.
Oh.
And we're taking him to a little getaway, but he don't know where.
Oh, nice.
But it's in Texas. That's where we're going.
Okay.
And we just stopped at Buc-ee's, and then we stopped at
And I can tell you Gypsy's motivation, though, for this call. The motivation was the documentary, was the Lifetime series. She was trying to get. They were pressuring They were kind of pressuring Gypsy in other calls. Well, we're trying to get to your sister's, your mother's family. It would be very, very beneficial if we could have them, you know, as contributors to this. And so this is why Gypsy decided to make these calls. Gypsy's the one that's calling, and then in the, you know, and then if she's going to get Claudia, but Claudia poo-pawed that whole thing, like, no, I'm not being on camera anymore. You know, Claudia straight up said that, I'm not being on camera anymore. But then at the same token, Gypsy had to tell her, but you know, this story, the molestation thing, she had to tell her the story, right? Because it's coming out. And she also wanted to get Tiffany. There's calls with Tiffany that I haven't listened to all of them yet. That is Claudia's daughter, about being in this series either. And we know that neither of them ended up in it. So something happened. I mean, Claudia just straight out flat, no. But at one point, Tiffany, and one call I'm still listening to, Tiffany's like, yeah, like she was going to be in it. But so what happened? There was some falling out. And I'm pretty sure at this point, once Gypsy gets out of prison, I don't think the Petries see her. I don't think there's really any relationship there at all. I think we're almost done with this call, guys.
Eat a burger. And she told me be back in the car.
Okay, my favorite.
Sure enough.
Cheese.
We just said that, but we had plenty of birthdays there already.
Okay, well, I won't keep you
Lord.
but I'm glad I got to talk to you, and we got to clear some things up and stuff like
Yep.
that.
Yeah.
And whenever you want to
But like I said, I don't know. Yeah, it's probably not gonna be till after all that, after they finish following you around, because I don't need the paparazzi around us.
yeah, that's fine.
But you just have to let me know when I know when you're gonna be out. I know that already. But like I said, I was kind of wondering, because you see, I made this friend from Missouri, and ever since that all happened, and I was getting backlash so bad, she came in and kind of stayed my friend the whole time. She's a lawyer, and she kind of like just stayed on me and told me like just back out that chat room, and me and her just stayed friends. We don't talk on the phone, but I call her my faraway friend. And we just stayed friends like that. And she's the one that keeps sending me stuff to let me know, did I see this and did I see that? Somebody bought the house that y'all lived in. And I said, nope, I didn't see none of that. And he said, it's the first time I see it. They resold the whole house. Yeah.
Oh,
They
okay.
resold the whole house. Yeah.
Did
She
they
said she knew that.
tear
And
it down, or is it just
no, it's still there.
out?
It's still there. It's still there. They just sold the whole house. And then she sent me pictures of somebody's doing painting of y'all, of you and your dad and you and your mom, and they're putting that all over the internet. Everybody's trying to make money, I guess.
Yeah.
Everybody's trying to make money. See, Claudia knows that too. Everybody's trying to make money.
I don't know.
I'm almost used to it at this point.
And then Titania, she's making money, I guess, on those two.
Oh,
She swears up and down she was your mama's best friend, but she wasn't your mama's best friend.
No, she wasn't. And she had went to the tabloids, or whatever you want to call it, the magazine people, and she went and tell them my release date, because we were gonna try and I was just gonna get out and.
I told you guys, yes, Bobby. Okay, I told you immediately. I mean, halfway. No, it wasn't even like a couple minutes into the call. Gypsy is mimicking Claudia's accent, right? Or as best she can, right? It never fails.
Hopefully, no media be at the prison, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think something's going to happen like that. We're going to have a lot of haters, and you know what I'm saying? What kind of family? You there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I don't know. My phone made a noise. Is it like what kind of family is his family going to follow you around, or is the haters going to follow you around? It's not always going to be happy,
I know. I'm going to have security though. The film crew got me a bodyguard.
Oh,
so somebody's gonna not like that,
I know. And
she said your husband's family's not going to like that. There's going to be a lot of haters around. I'm just like, foreshadowing is heavy here.
But you're not the first and you're not the last, but yeah.
I'm well aware, but Titania, don't talk to her. Don't. All she wants to do is write a book about.
And Dorla went off on her, about her experience. What she worked maybe a little bit with your mom already.
Yeah, that's all that she wants.
Nope, they sure don't know all of that.
That's what happened.
So.
But like I said, the past is the past. That's where I'm leaving it.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you come out, that's a whole different person we gotta be introduced to.
Yeah, pretty much. So it'll all be okay, though.
Everybody keeps saying, did y'all know she could walk? Well, yeah, we knew she could walk. What about y'all? How about all the time she ran away? Y'all, when she was running away, when y'all was bringing her back, y'all was dragging her with a ball and chain. Y'all didn't know she can walk. Shame on y'all for dragging a child that can't walk. I mean, golly. My. Yeah, we knew. You remember that the last time we saw you was in Mississippi.
Yeah, I remember.
And you was jumping from bed to bed with the kids. That's the last picture I have. You were
Yeah.
jumping bed to bed to bed to bed, and when she opened that door, you caught your sea legs.
I know, right?
Yeah, now thinking back on stories like that, right, where they're gypsies jumping around, and we know, right, that Gypsy, in that video said, I was the one that was lying to my mom. So wow.
But we didn't expose you.
All right. But
Nope.
but I did write a book, and but it's not about what happened. It's about things that, like, how I've been doing in prison stories.
Right.
No, it's not. It's not about prison stories. It's a memoir. She's trying to tell Claudia, don't worry, I'm not writing about the family. I'm not writing about what happened, the crime, the murder.
So it's gonna be
Day by day.
coming out. Yeah, it's gonna be coming out next month.
Prison stories? What do you mean you wrote a book about prison stories?
And it's an ebook, so it's something you gotta buy on the tablet.
Oh, I don't know. I don't have none of that. I'm not that bright. Like I said, I don't. It's cruise.
Yeah, they total grifted that. Like, they come out with the ebook, right? Then they do a memoir. We didn't need an ebook and a memoir, right? But cha-ching, right? Cha-ching. That's what that was about.
When I get a call and he says, "You recognize that?" Nope. So he'll blog. That's what I told your husband. He'll blog the number for me because I don't even know how to do it. And like right now, I couldn't use my phone because the only way I could use it was I had to put in a code. I had to put in a 6-digit code, and it's like, okay, it's the only way I could use my phone.
All right, I'm going to end it here because there's the rest of it is just them talking like this about using a phone, using a computer, and then about when Gypsy gets out. There's nothing else here that's very valuable, but there's a call the next day. Now that you've heard this, let's listen to Gypsy and Christy talking about this phone call, right? Let's see what Gypsy has to say. Now you've got the phone call fresh in your mind, right? Let's go ahead and listen to the very next day, Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Christy, of course, talking about this phone call with Claudia. All right, let me bring it up. Yeah, essay, Christy Blanchard. Where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay.
So I've had a lot of emotional things happening at once. I talked to Claudia, I think, on Saturday.
So this is a clip. So this isn't the whole call.
And it was not a good conversation.
It wasn't, huh?
No, I called her, and I had to call Tiffany's phone because for Claudia's phone, I don't know if she's accidentally blocked me or for some reason it's not registering the prison's number. So I had to call Tiffany whenever they were in a car together going to Texas because they were celebrating Tiffany's son's birthday, 13th birthday. So anyway, I'm like, hey, how y'all doing? And she's like, we okay, we driving to Texas. Can I ask you a question? Right out the gate. And I'm
Of course.
Sure. And I haven't talked to her in a year and a half maybe. So anyway, she's like, so did you know that the documentary people had interviewed Claude by himself? I said, I know that they interviewed him. I didn't.
Who gives a shit if it's by himself or not?
I know, and I'm not privy to that information. And so then she's like, what's up with this molestation shit?
Evans was with from what Carolyn told me.
Okay.
Evans talked to Carolyn too because
Evans is the brother of Dee Dee, son of Claude, and Carolyn is one of the executive or producers or showrunner from Lifetime. So this is who Christy's referring to.
he has stage 4 cancer, so he was like, fuck it, I'm going to talk if I want to talk.
See, I didn't even know that. Nobody told me that.
Yeah, that's what Carolyn told me.
Oh, wow.
So he wasn't by himself.
Okay. So
he was for a while, but not the whole time.
So I was like, no, I wasn't there, so I don't know. So anyway, and so she's like, well, what's up with this molestation shit? I said, okay, well, was not ready to get into this. So I'm like, I know this is going to be hard to hear, but Claude molested me when I was little, when I was 9. And she's like, I don't believe that. They said you were 5 and that it happened on the Lady Loy, which was the boat that he had with Emma. And I said, no, it happened when I was 9. It happened after the car accident. And we were staying with them for a little bit. And it was in multiple places.
Right.
But I'm like,
I
I broke it down for her. And she's like, well, why'd you have to tell them people that? I mean, I just don't understand. Like, you exposed him.
I don't understand about the boat part of this, right? Why was that not included? Because they all agree that Gypsy, there's another call that I hear where she's talking about the same thing. And she again, in another call, says that it happened on this boat. And I just don't get it. What happened to the boat?
Like, she was mad at me.
You know what? I told her, fuck you. It happened to you.
I kept my cool. Be very proud of me.
Girl.
And I was I'm like, because what happened to me, it's me having a voice now. And she's like, and I'm like, it was a traumatic experience on me. Like, that's trauma. And she's like, how is it traumatic? I'm like, oh my God. What do you mean? How is molestation traumatic?
I don't think she said that. I mean, I have to re-listen, but I mean, the way that Gypsy's gonna, because she knows Gypsy's a really great manipulator, right? So she knows, she's gonna, go against Claudia here, talk shit on Claudia, basically, right? Yeah, to Christy, because they don't like each other.
I'm like, I'm blown back. I'm beside myself.
Yes, Lisa. Christy is about as bright-witted and honest as her evil stepdaughter is.
With how this conversation is going. And she's like, well, every time you would call me, you would ask about him. So if he molested you, why would you ask about him? I said, because to be perfectly frank, I wanted to know if he was going to die before I got out. Because I don't want to be anywhere around him or have my future kids around him. I'm like, I was just checking on his health because I wanted to make sure it was the client.
She didn't say that. She didn't say any of that.
I was very frank with it. I'm like, it wasn't to be like, oh, I hope he's doing okay. I never said that. If you remember, I never said, oh, good, I hope he's doing good. I never said that.
Right.
So I just said how he's doing.
Yeah, Hannah, I will answer that in a minute.
And I was making small talk to begin with. So anyway, she's like, well, do you remember?
Ask about it, would have been, why you never asked about it?
Yeah. And then she goes on to be like, do you remember when you and your mom were staying at Claude's house when this all happened? And I'm like, yeah, I remember. And she's like, well, they found a box with some sex toys in it. And they pointed to a vibrator, and you said, that's what Mama uses on my muscles. I said, I don't ever remember having that conversation. And plus, it was probably all made up because when Carolyn and the film crew went to talk to him, he said that I put the baby bottle nipple in my vagina, and that never happened. So clearly, they have been known to make up some shit. And
who are they? I don't understand who's saying these stories. Who are they?
And look, if you would have took a nipple and shoved it in your vagina, you're just discovering yourself. You're 9 years old.
Right. But that never happened. So
right.
I'm like,
exactly.
This is some sick shit that they make up. And I'm like, it baffles me. And
that's just the way they are, Gypsy.
I understand that this is like, you keep stuff in the family. I get that. But I'm like, and she's like, well, I just don't understand why you had to talk about it. And I'm like, listen, Nanny, I'm not going to keep going over this. Like I said, my story is my story, and it has more than just my mom in it. And so after that conversation, I was just like, I don't know how my uncles feel about me I don't know how Aunt Darla feels about me. You know, I kind of know how my cousins feel, at least some of them, because we still talk. But I'm like, you know, I'm never going to tell people they can't be in my life, but I'm not going to go actively seeking you guys. So,
Right.
As you were actively seeking them to be, that's why you were calling her. You needed them. Lifetime Melissa, they were telling you, go get your mom's family. I mean, come on.
you know, with that being said, keep that in mind as
Yes.
I'm getting out soon. And she's like,
The thick Cajun accent is gone. Exactly. Exactly.
well, I don't want to be on camera. Yeah, I want to see you, but I don't want it to be on camera. I got mad at that lady for talking about Christy, and I was going to give her pictures until she started talking about Christy. I just don't like her. And I'm like, I understand, but I'm not trying to get you to meet up with Christy. I'm trying to ask
Yeah, I
you
don't
if you want a relationship with me.
Yeah. Her and I might start explaining, girl. Who knows? I mean, that's,
Jesus. Like,
you know, I mean, last time I heard she wanted to kick my ass.
what?
And I'm like, yeah, Darla too. Darla said next time she saw me, she was going to whip my ass. Well, not, a couple of weeks later, I saw her, me and Dad saw her at Walmart. She walked right on the side of me. She didn't tell me shit.
Christy flexing, a little flex there. She didn't tell me shit. She was going to kick my ass. And then I saw her over at the Walmart and she walked right past me. I mean, are we adult women here? What's going on here? Right? Talking about kicking people's asses and flexing that, you know, I was at the Walmart and she saw me and she walked right past me. She'd do nothing because I'm Christy Blanchard, right? Gypsy laughing.
You know, it's like, what the fuck? But you see, look, the way Darla is treating you is the same way your mom treated me.
Mm.
You know, with the shit, you know, like when I got pregnant with Dylan, you know, oh, I hope it's a girl. I hope it's a boy, because if it's a girl, he's going to leave you. You know, it just mean things,
Yeah.
you know?
You know, I don't understand where Christy didn't ever realize that Dee Dee was married to Rod. I mean, I know their story is, right, that they weren't together when Dee Dee and Rod were married, but they were friends, and I don't know if they were or not, right? But we do know pretty quickly after Rod leaves Dee Dee, he's with Christy. How is Dee Dee supposed to feel about that? I mean, really, right? How is she's supposed to be like friends with you? And then after a while, you know, by the time she gets to Missouri, we see Dee Dee being very, very cordial with Christy, right? In Facebook and stuff like that. But I don't understand these things that Christy said that Dee Dee did. There were like nothing burgers. It's like, what? She didn't like you? Okay. That's kind of a given, Christy, right?
I mean,
It's just, I'm like, if that is how that side of the family functions, with the exception of Bobby, you know, I'm
yeah,
not
that's
a
all
part of it.
Why Bobby is the hero? Because Bobby was the one that has always been a huge Gypsy Rose Blanchard supporter and sycophant, right? The others, not so much, right? The others were in a couple of docs, but as you heard the call with Claudia, it's kind of a wash. You know, Claudia is definitely not kissing her ass, all right? But Bobby, yeah, Bobby liked the clout. Bobby liked the whole, you know, celebrity atmosphere of the whole thing.
I don't want to be a part of it. I just don't feel like
well,
normalizing molestation in a family dynamic is okay. I don't.
I don't blame you. You know what I'm saying? Because that's how they were brought up, plain and simple. You know, look at,
That's how they were brought up, plain and simple.
you know, your mom, for instance. They were all brought up by the same two people, and in one way or another, they have a lot of similarities.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, that's just who they are.
Yeah.
You know, and who's to say that Claude didn't touch one of them?
Right. And I think, you know, I just feel like, you know, I feel like if he was so touchy-feely with even our company, that, like, you know,
Look,
the day I came over to their house while I was there, and he had groped Joyce, and
Well, you
she
did that
never
when
wanted to go back.
she hooked, and it made my skin crawl. It feels like, ooh, because I could hear him go, you know, it's like, ooh, you know, it was nasty. I mean, it made me feel violated.
Yeah,
You
no, I
know?
mean, like, I have no doubt that it, it's happened to more than one family member.
Oh,
and
yeah.
probably more than just me and Jessica. So I'm like, I know these people know what I'm talking about. If they want to die, that's on them. But I just, like, that phone call really left a sour taste in my mouth. And I know, she's like, I still love you because you're my sister's child.
You know what? At the end of that phone call, because it was, I can't. We only have so much time. They're like planning to meet. She's like saying, I don't want to be on camera, but when you get out, if you want me to come see you, I will. You're still my sister's child, and all of that. And so, this is kind of a bullshit conversation here. I just wanted you guys to listen to a little bit of part of how Gypsy just gets off the phone call with Claudia, and within a couple hours, here's how she's talking with Christy. And of course, Christy is there to, egg her on and to validate, her talking like that about her aunt. I mean, for Christ's sake, she murdered her sister, this woman's sister, right? Who's still being cordial with her in some respects. But that's not good enough for them, I guess. I don't know, Um, all right. Let me see if what else, because we've got kind of like two topics here. I know. Okay, let's go ahead and take a semi timeout here, and then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get to the next topic, which is just as interesting. I don't know if TA Swifty's in chat or not. She had a couple videos that this was so weird. It's kind of like Kismet when you're finding things. She's got a new channel, and I don't know if Nightbot should be going every couple minutes with her channel. It's Karma and Criminals, I think. Yesterday she emailed me and she goes, I just posted this. I just found this call and I just posted this. And I swear to God, this is the truth. It was a call I had just found likewise. And it's about medical stuff. And it's very, very interesting. So let's go ahead and get to some more of your comments. And then we will go back and we will switch gears here a little bit and get deeply into very, very revealing and explosive phone calls about Gypsy talking about some of her medical stuff. That's just like, yeah, it will kind of blow your mind. So let me go back over to some of these comments here. Where am I at? I think I would be here. All right, at Yelling Timber 01, just like Dee Dee pricked her fingers and put blood in her urine. Stolen story, or Dee Dee locked her in the shed. A lie. That's all she does. She has no stories, so she steals them. Thanks so much, Yelling Timber, for that comment. All right, hold on a minute here. Let me go on. I don't want to. Did I do that? Yep, I did that one. Sometimes it's a little confusing here, guys. Sorry, guys. Just taking me a minute to find where I'm at here. Okay, I know where I'm at here. All right, let's go here. And we've got Connie Blue Sky 72, a member for 6 whole months. Thank you, Connie. A member of the replay crew, but finally made it to alive. Amen. Thank you so much. I'm so happy to see you here. That's wonderful. Okay, and we've got at Beesby 27, 299. Hey, Becca, finally made a live. Pumped for this. Awesome. So glad to see you here. You're somewhere overseas by that denomination of money, so I'm not sure what the A stands for, but welcome to Alive. So good to see you. All right, and we've got our good friend to the channel, B. McKenna 2024, who also gifted 5 Becca Scoops memberships. That humbles me every time I see something like that. Thank you so much, B. McKenna. I really appreciate that. We do work hard on our live streams here, so thank you. Next up, we've got at Jenna Howden, 7936, 10 pounds. Hope Mitch had a good birthday. He did. And Becca, you are just looking stunningly beautiful. Oh, that's so kind of you. Thank you so much, Jenna. And thank you for the $10. Mitch did have a good birthday. I got him a new iPhone. We've never had iPhones. I know. We've gotten to the 21st century finally. So yeah, he's excited about his new iPhone. So thank you. And let's go on to the next one. We've got at 11 My Future 499, well known to this channel. Thank you for being here. She says, thank you for doing so much of an amazing job exposing the vile demons, Gypsy, Ryan, Ken. They make us all sick to our stomach. Or at least we can trauma bond here on these live streams, right? I mean, literally, I know I'm kind of making a joke of this, but the prison out of the whole time I've been covering this case, it wasn't until I got to these calls that I actually did feel physically ill. It took some of these calls to actually make me physically ill. So, yeah, I love that quote there. And at Mishy Cat, $5. I find it ironic that Ryan calls us haters and for us to get a life when all he does is TikTok lives and cameos, right? It's projection at its finest, Mishy. It's projection at its finest. He is talking about himself. He's the hater, right? What is racism? What is being a racist? It is truly being one of the biggest haters, right? And then he's constantly, like you're saying, on the internet. He is just projecting on us what he knows about himself. It's interesting. Yeah. Oh, and we've got at Murray 5822 $2. So when do we see parody and not the real footage? Right? Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I think I'm constantly watching parody, and even when I'm listening to these prison phone calls, Murray. One of my good friends, Wendy Williams, enters the chat, became a YouTube member. Thank you, Wendy. I know you've been a member before. Welcome back. I'm so glad to see you here. And I haven't forgotten about your email. I'm sorry. I had to take the last couple of days. I was working, but off the internet, if you know what I mean. I had to take an internet timeout, to be honest with you guys, for about 3 days. But and so I wasn't really doing even any of my emails, but Wendy, I will get to that. I promise you. At B McKenna 2024, $10. Thank you for that so much. The most awkward interaction with a dog. Sure, Gyp shit. We totally believe you. See everyone. I do love Parker. Oh, my hair. I just need to wash it. No big deal. Brush your hair and not Parker's. Ridiculous. Right. I was a little taken aback that she went on that Instagram live without the hair was not brushed at all. It was full mullet. She didn't even try to hide that it was the mullet, right? And then not brushed and then no makeup and no filter. What happened that she was like, I got to go brush Parker right now and show everyone I have Parker? I would love to have been a fly on the wall that morning, how that whole live stream developed. I'm wondering what happened. So yeah, BB Cat, I'm with you on that. Wendy Williams, member. Then it says you member for 13 months, girl. I don't know. YouTube, get it together. Okay, get it together. Still lurking around. Keekins for president. Thank you. And someone needs to bring me Keekins right now in this house. If anyone's watching me on this live stream in this house, I doubt they are. Yes, bring me Keekins. Bring me Keekins. Okay. Next up, Mighty Mulatto, the sage of the chat, $2. That's her ethos. I'm going to do what I want, isn't it? It is. It is her ethos. It is who she is at the very core. It is what a malignant narcissist is at the very core. So again, always being the sage of the chat, Mighty Mulatto. We can always count on you for that. We've got at Gypsy Rose, sexy tongue. Love that picture. One of the best pictures of Gypsy, by the way. I used it in several of my thumbnails for videos. It is a classic. At Gypsy Rose Sexy Tongue says, Dee Dee was looking for a shelter for GRB. What freedom? Oh, come on, Keekins. Come on. That's okay. Someone's trying to bring Keekins to me. Dee Dee was looking for a shelter for GRB. What freedom? This is so true. So most of you know the Google, and that's something we need to go over again, by the way, when we get time. It's just these calls are so crazy. Dee Dee was in her browser history searching for shelters for Gypsy, looking for drug places for Gypsy. Of course, she had, in April, a few weeks, 6 weeks or 8 weeks before, maybe 12 weeks before the murder, Gypsy had stolen all of her prescription medication. And Dee Dee, in one phone call, I heard this. I don't have it for tonight, but in one phone call, Gypsy admits that she had stole her mom's medication, and then her mom covered for her again, went to the police and made a report. Why did Dee Dee have to go make a report? You've probably figured it out. Dee Dee needed her narcotic medication. She needed the pain medication and the anxiety meds. And so she couldn't go get a refill because Gypsy had taken it. And so she had to make a police report. And Gypsy, on a phone call, I just heard over the last couple of days, Gypsy admits this in a phone call. So great. Thank you for bringing that up at Gypsy Rose Sexy Ton. I appreciate that. Then we've got at Taminator664, $5. Thank you. Gypsy and Ryan are both gaslighting narcissists, but she's the psychopath in the relationship. Okay, amen. Thank you. You said it better than I could and put it in one sentence. This is exactly right. Gypsy's the psychopath, though. But Ryan is a malignant narcissist in his own right. He's just not a psychopath. I agree with that. Thank you so much, Taminator. One of our favorites, P. Mabel, and we'll do a couple more here and we'll get back to the live stream. P. Mabel, $9.99. I don't believe Ryan ever talked to the counselor therapist Tucker. I don't either. I don't believe that one bit. Thank you. Great catch on this, P. Mabel. When they've mentioned it, you can tell he's lying about going. Exactly. He's not going. Okay. I totally agree with that. One more by Mighty Mulatto, $2. Emasculation or murder? She point blank said that. Yes. Yes. Great point. Great point, Mighty Mulatto. Okay. Before we'll do one more, I saw Nicole, one of my good friends, Nicole, used to be Nicole on the dance floor. Now Nicole Indoors over on YouTube has become a YouTube member. Thank you, Nicole. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. And one more we've got here at Wolf Baby Jen, $5. There's the real Gypsy. And here is the Ryan Anderson. Give me a break. We have enough evidence and more to come of the true character. Thanks so much for the $5 at Wolf Baby Jen. What a great quote. There's the real Gypsy, and here's the Ryan Anderson. All right, let's go ahead and we will end there, and we will get back to some of this craziness. Okay, the first one I'm going to play for you, and then we're going to get to the Karma and Criminals. I'm going to go to hers because we basically were listening to the same stuff, and she's emailing me going, oh my God, you got to listen to this. And I'm like, oh my God, I just listened to it. What do you know? So let me go ahead and bring this up. This first clip, we're going to be getting into some of the medical stuff that you guys are going to find most interesting. I promise. Here we go. This is from September 20th, 2022.
Should be able to put you in touch with people. Did you think that your experience with doctors or anything about your medical conditions would change at all because you were in this new city with new doctors?
Okay, this is Michelle the Ghostwriter, I'm pretty sure. And let me slow it down. It's a little fast. I was listening to it fast, but here we go.
I didn't think that my medical condition would get any worse or change at all. I didn't think it would have any effect on my medical conditions at all. That's not really something that I thought about.
So what's going on here is Michelle is trying to write her memoir, right? And she's trying to find out from Gypsy about when they moved, when Hurricane Katrina hit and they moved to Missouri. And that is kind of the premise. That's where they're at in this conversation.
But that's something that inevitably happens with new doctors came new diseases and illnesses. And
so she's claiming her mom was, because there's new doctors, that her mom was making up new diseases and new illnesses. And we know this is a lie.
Medical issues that my mother was claiming that I had. And I feel like the new doctors, they didn't know any better. Like, they didn't know about my past medical history at all. Like, it was a clean slate. So my mother kind of made up new things and thought of new things that I had wrong with me. And the doctors, of course, they asked for like medical transcripts and records and anything from my previous doctors and hospitals. And my mother told them that like she tried to get medical records from the hospitals that I was seeing in New Orleans, but that the hospitals were impacted by the hurricane, and so she was unable to obtain the documents needed. And
part of that was true. Those hospitals were impacted. I researched that. That was true. And the other part to this, as many of you know, but we're going to go ahead and bring it up because we like to correct the lies when Gypsy tells them, is Dee Dee did write authorization for use or disclosure of medical information. This was done on April 4th, 07. This is, and she even has, notice the top name there, Gypsy Rose Blanchard. She even spells it with an E at the end, knowing that some of her files had the E at the end. And different birth dates, 93, 92, 91. What is this? This was sent to Tulane. This was sent to Louisiana, the medical centers. For what? For them to bring all of Gypsy's records to Missouri, to the Missouri facilities. So Dee Dee didn't hide anything. But yes, for a time after Hurricane Katrina, I found out a lot of those hospitals could not get the medical records to different medical centers for a while until they got back up and running. Okay, so we're going to keep going.
So she just told them, like, but I remember everything that she has wrong with her. And so they're like, okay, just list them off. And she just started listing off all new shit.
And did you?
What do you mean new shit? This is such a lie. She did not list off any new shit. And I would tell you if she did. Okay. But she didn't.
Realize at the time that, did you think to yourself, well, that's a new condition, or that's a new illness I've never heard before?
I did. There was a couple of conditions that I had never heard of before. I didn't even know what it was, but I knew better than to open my mouth and say, "What's that, Mom?" Absolutely not. I'm sure I would have been hit a lot for that if I would have done that. But I just kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything. I didn't even say anything to her after the doctor's appointment where my mom was listing off all these medical conditions, and some of them were new, some of them I hadn't heard of. But I knew better than to say anything in front of her or anything in front of the doctor.
Yeah. And do you remember what any of those conditions were specifically?
I didn't know what it was a form of cancer.
Not leukemia.
Not leukemia. It was the
not leukemia. Now I know there's a lot about, did she have leukemia, bone marrow transplants, all of that. I've done a deep dive into that. I'm not prepared in this live stream to tell you guys everything I found because I haven't finished my research on it yet. Okay. But this is interesting, but it's coming because I've got like multiple calls of her not only talking about bone marrow transplants, but her talking about leukemia. And I want you guys to calm down thinking, oh, but she had it. No, just hold your horses. Okay. Because okay, just don't think that yet, okay? I don't wanna disappoint anyone for one thing, and I'm dedicated to bringing out the truth, no matter what that is, right? So, I've never really spoken that much on it, but I have found a lot of phone calls where Melissa Moore is talking about finding a record not okay, let me just say this. She did not find, and I've heard multiple calls now at this point, so I can safely say this to you guys. She did not find a medical record that said, "Here is Gypsy Rose's bone marrow transplant." Melissa did not find that. And that's based on, I can prove that based on phone calls, okay? So just take that and I will do a video on that, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, though, is there are some weird things, okay? So that's why I say I'm not ready to really talk about that yet, but let's go on with this call where she's saying not leukemia, where she's denying leukemia here, right? Which is interesting. She's saying some kind of cancer, but not leukemia. Well, I know in the medical records, not from Tulane, not in Louisiana, where she would have had the cancer. It's not mentioned there. But once they get to Missouri, there are a few medical records where it talks about Gypsy having acute lymphoblastic leukemia, or ALL. There are nursing notes. There are no lab reports. There are no tests, and there is no oncologist. I just want to preface it with that also. Also in nursing notes, it mentions Gypsy's paralyzed. It mentions Gypsy has muscular dystrophy. So that's why I'm saying hold your horses until I can do, really finish the deep dive. But I'm not the only creator that does stuff. So, if somebody else may find a phone call that blast it all wide open, right? I'll be happy to hear that for sure. But this is what I can tell you based on my own investigation. Okay.
It was a different form of cancer, and then
You're
also
welcome. Thank you.
muscular dystrophy. But she said I had Duchenne's muscular dystrophy.
Okay. And that was the first.
And this is interesting. This part is interesting to me. This Duchenne's muscular dystrophy. Why is that interesting? There was a couple live streams back, maybe 2 months ago, where I went over about when Gypsy, how did she get in the wheelchair? What was going on? I don't know if you guys remember that. If not, you can find it. But long story short, what I found out was that Gypsy was being seen by this Carlos Garcia, who was a professor at Tulane University, very prestigious physician. Okay. This guy was like the creme de la creme. He was the professor for, what does it say? Board certified in neuropathy, pathology, and neuropathology. His areas of interest were neuromuscular disorders, neurogenetic disorders, hereditary neuropathies, muscle disorders, pathology of muscle and nerve, neurologic rehabilitation. Dr. Garcia has made many contributions to the molecular genetics of inherited neuropathies, including particularly Charcot, Marie Tooth, and then Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Do you see that there? Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Gypsy mentions that. This was her doctor. This was his specialty. Beyond that, because she did test negative for muscular dystrophy, but there's different kinds of muscular dystrophy, okay? But she was negative for that, right? We know what Gypsy had came from the microdeletion, which is part of what the neurogenetic disorders that Dr. Garcia was also an expert in. Dr. Garcia was working Gypsy up for all of these things at the same time Gypsy gets in the car accident with her mom and ends up with a brace on her right leg. She also was worked up for bilateral muscle weakness at that time. Okay. And then I'm just refreshing your guys' memory on this. There was this story of this little girl named Iris who was diagnosed with the exact same microdeletion that Gypsy had. And this girl is like a mirror of Gypsy as far as diagnoses goes, not only with the microdeletion, but with her symptomology. When you hear what happened to this little girl, that her parents were being worked up as being having Munchausen. They were telling her parents they had Munchausen. That's where this little girl, this story comes from. And then all along, it happens that she had this microdeletion. But we know that the microdeletion can manifest in different ways. You can have the same microdeletion, but that doesn't mean that it affects you the same way, right? Because we've all heard Gypsy say, I'm unscathed, except she's not, right? We know because she had to get the feeding tube. We know. That's why I love this case, not love this case. Who would love like a little girl being sick? That's why I feel this case is so important about this little girl named Iris. So I just want to just briefly read, not this whole thing, but just the stuff that she had. It wasn't until, this is the mom writing this. It wasn't until she was at her 9-month-old well baby visit that we finally saw the main doctor at the hospital, a man with a very good reputation. He took one look at my baby and declared that she needed to see a list of specialists. So then she gets worked up by all this specialists. And then she says he wasn't sure what was going on, but it was over his head and he wished he'd seen her sooner. Iris attended all of those appointments. She was diagnosed with microcephaly, severe GERD. Then she's on a feeding tube now and growing like a weed. Developmental delay, vision issues, coordination and gait issues. That's walking issues. Minor kidney problem, and a lot of very mild things as well. So this girl, like Gypsy, the microdeletion hit her eyes and her GI tract. Same as Gypsy, okay? And so Gypsy mentions this Duchenne muscular dystrophy. It reminded me of Dr. Garcia, who was specialized in that kind of thing. So just wanted to point that out.
First time you'd heard that?
That was the first time I had heard that word.
You'd heard that?
That was the first time I had heard that.
Talking about the
word.
Duchenne's.
And so I'm like, it sounded like a funny word, but it was new to me, so I didn't know what that was.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say is that Gypsy is remembering her mother, her going to see this doctor. She was worked up by this doctor. That's where that word comes from. That's how Gypsy knows that Duchenne word. Meaning it's and we're verifying that, yeah, Dee Dee did go and see this specialist.
Facility and may be monitored and recorded.
Still don't know what it was.
So can you just sort of tell me, to sort of summarize, when we got to Missouri, this new city, this new town, it came with a lot of new doctors, essentially.
Yeah, whenever my mother and I arrived in Missouri, this essentially came with new doctors and new hospitals.
Yeah, and do you recall a doctor by the name of Dr. Steele?
Yes, Dr. Steele was the first doctor that my mother had started having me visit. I believe he was a pediatric specialist.
Yeah, he was he still is a pediatrician. Yeah. And tell me what you remember about that first meeting with Dr. Steele, what you remember about him and anything else you remember about that.
I remember Dr. Steele being very nice. To be honest, he was just a doctor like any other. There was nothing that stuck out at my mind about him in particular.
Yeah. Tell me about some of the things that your mom would do. And
This woman is trying to get she's writing this book. She's trying to get information from Gypsy. The problem is they took Gypsy at her word. They didn't do their due diligence. Because if they would have done their due diligence and got like maybe a medical expert to look at the records, and I'm also convinced that from phone calls that I've heard anyways, and I'll prove it in a different video, that the records that these people had, they didn't have any more records than what I've seen. I think these are the records that Christy had. I don't know if Gypsy, after she got out of prison, went back and got the records from Tulane or anything. But I can tell you who didn't go get the records from Tulane. It was these people, the Lifetime people, because I hear it on a phone call. So I'm becoming more and more convinced that part of the stick or trying to keep people off the trail was not to go get the medical records, right? Because even the little that I've seen, I could figure out, with knowing about the microdeletion, saying, okay, it went to her GI tract. Here's what happened. And I could explain that then, right? So what I'm trying to say is that I don't think Gypsy was really hep on going to go get her medical records.
So you said you knew better to stay quiet, but tell me about some of the things that she would do at these doctor's appointments in terms of holding your hand and, pushing on your hand to keep you quiet if you, spoke out of turn.
Yeah, my mom, she had different physical signals that, told me to stay quiet and not speak during. I mean, first of all, before any of the signals, she would tell me to be quiet at the appointment. She's like, let me do all the talking. I know what to say. I know what's best for you. I'm your mother. And so you just sit there, play with your Barbie doll. And then after the doctor's appointment, if you're good, we'll go to.
This is not true either. Okay. This is not true. We've got medical record after medical record where the nurse is writing patient reports. Patient reports. That's not mother reports. Patient reports. Patient says.
Toys R Us.
And
then after that, during the appointment.
Yeah, I believe that Dee Dee exaggerated stuff for necessity because of Hurricane Katrina. When she was put in spots, when she was homeless, okay? She did it to eat, to get shelter, all right? That was Dee Dee's motivation, not making Gypsy sick, none of that, but possibly to over exaggerate potential symptoms and stuff. I'll agree with that. Okay. But she never made her ill, obviously. But she did what she had to do. Like, how did they get life flighted out of there? Right. You know what I mean? So, out of Hurricane Katrina to Missouri, that was Dee Dee. That was Dee Dee doing what she needed to do as a mother to get her child out of that situation. And I can respect that and I can commend that. Okay.
Appointment. I would do exactly as instructed, and so I would just be playing with my Barbie doll while she would be talking with the doctor, and I would overhear things, but I wouldn't comment on them. And so also, like, my mom would make her chair, scoot her chair closer to me, and she would put her arm around me and hug my shoulder a little bit, or reach for my hand and hold my hand and squeeze my hand. Whenever it came to them having to do a reflex test on my legs, she would tell me before the appointment, she's like, now whenever it comes to the reflex test, make sure you keep your legs super still.
There is no way to fake a reflex test. You can't do it. Okay. It's a reflex. That's why it's called a reflex. You know what I mean? So yeah, this Gypsy, no, this isn't true either, Gypsy.
And so whenever they would do the reflex test, I would have to try to force my legs to stay in place and not move. Of course,
and if you were trying to force your leg in place, we know we've already got the number about how you were lying to your mom. What your mom knew or didn't know about your walking ability. All right, I'm just gonna leave it at that. You guys live together, right? I'm sure she suspected that you could walk some, but I think there was a real, that little iris was affected. Her gait was affected. Her leg muscles were affected by the micro deletion. I believe that's what was going on with Gypsy. The Gypsy just exaggerated that, right? And I think Dee Dee just let her do it, but it wasn't Dee Dee. The point is, it wasn't Dee Dee going, get the F in that chair and don't get up, right? Yeah, I don't, when I first came into this case, I did actually kind of believe that. My very first video, because I had I had done a lot of this we didn't even know. We didn't know a lot of the stuff, but I knew Dee Dee didn't have Munchausen. That's why I made my first video on this case. I'm like, oh, she doesn't have Munchausen though. But now I am convinced that Dee Dee, you know, um, did not come up with this master plan that I'm going to make my daughter paralyzed from the waist down. I'm going to do that and force her to live that way.
Really hard whenever your reflexes are telling you move your leg.
Well, yeah. And what about the hand squeezing? What was the hand squeezing all about?
The hand squeezing was a signal to let me know that, make sure I'm staying quiet, that she's got this.
So I'm going to end this call here. Basically, this is Gypsy, all right? And this is how the memoir gets written. This is how, this narrative keeps, going. And we have these people that get involved, like Michelle. Where is Michelle? Where is Michelle at? You are Michelle. Like Michelle here, this ghostwriter who they all want to make their buck. And so I don't know, they decide not to really investigate it. They decide, here's how they got around it. And I'm going to tell you how they got around it in their mind. Okay. So there are, yeah, Michelle's a book writer. Okay. I think she actually went to school. I actually think that, that the memoir wasn't very good, but yeah. Okay. And so, how they got around lying in the memoir was to say it was not based on a true story, not even based on a true story, which you can take liberties in that. It was a memoir based on Gypsy's memory. So that way they didn't have to research it. You see, they didn't have to go see, well, is Gypsy telling the truth or not? Because the way they styled the memoir was to say it's based on her memories, not based on the truth, based on her memories. And she's the victim. So we're going to let her be a victim, right? And we're going to keep it on her memories, right? Now, the difference between that and like a biography, if someone writes a biography about someone, right, that would take a lot of research, right? And then you've got the unauthorized biographies, which are usually the best because those are the ones where the people bring out all the dirt on somebody, right? They go and find the truth is what I'm trying to say. But that Michelle got around it. She got around it by styling it a biography based on Gypsy's memories. All right, I'm going to take this one down, and now I'm going to get to the one that the new channel Karma and Criminals brought up and sent to me last night. Very excited about. I think you'll find the link to their new channel in the chat. If you guys want to check them out, they're doing some good work over there. I think it's T.A. Swifty. I'm pretty sure it's who that is. If I'm not, I'm wrong, but I don't want to be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is the one that she sent me.
1 to review. Thank you for using Securus. You may start the conversation now.
All right. So was there any talk of you going to Springfield because it had a good medical system there?
I don't believe my mother ever brought up anything about good medical care that was particularly in Springfield. I think the conversations that my mother and I had about moving to Springfield, it was more about us having an adventure. It was a new adventure.
What are you talking about? An adventure? Okay. Gypsy was 14 when Hurricane Katrina hit. And those of us that remember Hurricane Katrina, and I'm from Southern California, I don't know how y'all in the South survived that. That was, right? They were in a crisis situation. This wasn't an adventure. Now, Gypsy was 14. My point about her being 14 is that I know that as a parent, you would want to shield your child like, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be adventure. Possibly that's what she's talking about. I don't know, but let's continue to listen. My point is she never gave her mom credit for getting her out of there. Did she not see what was going on with this and what her mom had to endure? I don't know.
It was like traveling the world.
What?
And so I imagined that it was going to be like, she told me that it was like farms and open fields and country life. So I imagined horses and piggies and chickens. So to me, it was more that it was told to me that it was going to be a new beginning for us.
It sounds kind of lovely from the way you're describing it.
Yeah, that's how my mom, that's how my mom described it to me, is that we would be starting a new life in a new state, that it was different from a city. It was country life. It was simple life. It was something you'd watch on a Hallmark show.
So, tell me, we've seen lots of pictures of you being airlifted to Missouri. Tell me about that and what that was like for you.
Well, that was the trip from Louisiana to Missouri by helicopter. Well, it was the first time I'd ever ridden in a helicopter. It was scary though, because I don't do heights very well.
Did you not know that until the helicopter?
Yeah, I did not know that it was going to go that high. But it was an experience for sure. It was a long trip. We had to stop a couple times to refuel. But I got to see like a lot of like the landscape. Like it's different whenever you're riding in an airplane. Like in an airplane, you can barely see the fields and the landscape that's below. But in a helicopter, you're flying a little lower, so you can see mountains and not mountains, but like hills and different landscapes.
Yeah. Was part of it fun, or were you just really sort of scared?
I think part of it was fun. My mom, she got a little bit airsick, and so she had to get in some Dramamine or something to help with nausea. So I was kind of like scared at first, but then I started to get used to it a little bit more.
And did you feel like you were sort of getting special treatment because you were in a wheelchair and it was presumed that you needed all this medical care, so you were sort of being whisked away to get new health in this new place that you were going to call home?
No. I didn't feel like I got special treatment because if you think about it, I had been treated that way my whole life. So I didn't think that I was being treated any different than another child, to be honest.
Okay.
Because that's just not something that was in the forefront of my brain growing up. It's like, I thought this is how every child was treated. I didn't know that it was any different.
Isn't that interesting, our perspective on things,
I thinking back on it, I'm like, how did I not question this? Or why did I not question that? But I mean, if you think about it,
What do you mean question it? You were in an emergency situation. You had to get out of there. I don't understand. They're trying to make the villainization of Dee Dee always constantly with her.
I didn't get to play with other kids. I didn't get to associate with other kids my age.
Yeah,
so I really didn't see how their life was different from mine, or how they were treated in comparison to me. So it's like being treated like you're just a delicate little flower your whole life. You don't know any different.
Yeah.
I mean, spoiled to death, pretty much, right?
So tell me about landing in Missouri and a place that you went where you first met Nona, Marcia Smith.
Yeah. Okay. So, we landed from we landed in Missouri, and it was on the rooftop of St. John's Hospital in Springfield. And I just remember thinking, like, okay, we're at a hospital. This is normal. This is my normal everyday life. It's not weird at all. So, yeah, we get to the hospital, and
This call is from a correctional facility and may be monitored and recorded.
Immediately, we are taken to the hospitality house that is within the hospital. And it's where people stay while they are receiving treatments or they have medical appointments, whatever. And that is where my mother and I met Marcia Smith, and she was working as a secretary at the hospitality house. And she was just, oh my gosh, she was just this really nice woman. She gave me a hug, and her smile just made my day. Like, she made me feel like this was a safe place. Like, I was scared of where we had just arrived because she was just so nice and welcoming. And so we talked with her. My mom and I just talked with her for a couple of hours and got to know her. And pretty soon after that, like, Nona just became like a part of my life. And it didn't take too long for me to start calling her like Nona, which means
Now listen, what's coming up next is pretty revealing.
grandma in Italian. And so it's like she became like a part of our family, you know?
How did that happen, do you think? Since your mom was always so reluctant to have anyone close to either one.
Right. What? Wait a minute. She's saying, I thought your mom was trying to keep you guys all isolated because you were doing the fraud and you had to keep it all. Your mom was medically abusing you. And so what do you mean your mom's making friends? This doesn't make sense. And then it gets even weirder.
I think it was just because my mother had no connections in Springfield yet. Like, just arriving from Louisiana, we knew no one there. So I think establishing connections that was at the hospital, that my mom could ask, okay, what are good doctors that you would recommend at this hospital for Gypsy? Just having someone to talk to about that kind of stuff. I think that's why my mom was a little more open to associating with Nona at the time.
Yeah. And did you ever think about, and I know, like, how close did you get with her in terms of, like, spending time alone with her and having her come over to your house and that kind of thing?
Nona and I were, like, really, really close. My mom would set it up to where me, Nona, and my mom would all go to the movie theater and watch a movie together. My mom has a couple of health conditions herself. So whenever my mom needed to have, like, a sleep study done for herself that required her to be in the hospital, she would ask Nona to watch me to where I can go stay overnight at Marsha's house. And
What? Wait a minute. Your mom's letting you go stay the night over at Marsha's house? And what do you mean your mom's going in for a sleep study? So what's going on here? I mean, she did spend the night, without Dee Dee. So the question is, wouldn't Dee Dee be scared like Gypsy would get up and walk and the whole gig would be up?
my mom trusted Marsha that much to allow her to, in a sense, babysit while my mom wasn't around.
And what was that like for you, Gypsy? Because you really didn't get to spend that much time alone with people.
It was different. I think I still had my guard up, even though my mother wasn't around. I always felt like I couldn't fully be honest with Marsha about what was going on because I always had to fear that her bond and her friendship was closer to my mom than it was to me. And she would end up telling my mom, like, this is what Gypsy said. Gypsy's telling me something.
This doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. If you can walk and someone is forcing you to be in a wheelchair, how would you get in trouble? Yeah, maybe if this so-called horrible villain that's keeping you in the wheelchair will not like it when you expose that. But how are you going to stay? If you reveal it to this family friend, this Nona, the Marsha Smith woman, you get up on one of your overnight stays, right? You get up and you start walking and you start crying and you say, listen, I know my mom is your good friend, but look at me. I can walk and she is forcing me to stay in this wheelchair. I can walk. Look, I'm going to walk around the house. Look. So this doesn't make sense. It never made sense to me. At some point, Gypsy obviously was the one involved with keeping herself there, right? She kept herself there. This doesn't make sense.
About you, and then that would make things worse for me at home. So I never really opened up to her about what was going on with my mom.
Yeah.
I wish I had. Now looking back on it, I really wish I had said something because number one, I feel like Marsha was in the medical field. Like, I'm sure she
And Dee Dee let her stay there overnight. All right. If you guys want to listen to these calls over on Karma and Criminals, she's got a whole bunch of them, like this one, the next one, and the next one. And they're very, very interesting. I want to switch gears here again, and we're going to another trigger warning. I wasn't sure if I was going to play this one, but let's just go. Let me just go ahead and do it because somebody's going to find this call anyways, and it's going to get out anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and play this portion of this call that is a little salacious, a little shocking. And hold on, let me get it. This call is about Dee Dee Blanchard's paternity. I know what you're thinking. There have been rumors going around. I've heard these rumors that people have said, well, people said that Dee Dee wasn't really Claude's real biological child. Remember, Dee Dee was the youngest of the children. I don't know what that has to do with anything. But let me go ahead and find it. Where is it? No. Here we go. All right. We're going to go ahead and listen. But more than that, it's this little tidbit story that is on this call. My jaw dropped. I mean, because I've heard the rumors about the paternity and all that, right? But I'd never heard this. I'm like, what is this? So let me go ahead and play this for you guys. Let me bring it up. So trigger warning, I guess, because it's pretty shocking and all that. And there's just a lot of weird things with this case. All right, here we go.
Yeah, and then she asked me because there's my mother's paternity is in question, and so.
As far as what?
Claude said that my mom's not his biological daughter. That my grandma had an affair or slept around, got pregnant, and she had my mom.
So is it going to be part of the thing, the lore there? We're going to get DNA?
I think this is the Brian guy, right? Sounds like him, the guy that was in, doing her social media, her best friend, basically. She told him everything.
Fucking analysis?
Well, I would have preferred them to do like a DNA test back whenever they had my mom's body. Because according to my attorney, Mike told me that my grandpa, whenever the coroner's office had called him, that he said he couldn't go identify the body because that's not his biological daughter.
What? What? Mike Stanfield. Of course, we know Gypsy's a liar, but this is a strange. I mean, where did this come from? Mike Stanfield, Gypsy's attorney, let's back it up a minute, said what about Claude coming and identifying Dee Dee's body? He couldn't come and identify it because he wasn't her biological father?
My grandpa, whenever the coroner's office had called him, that he said he couldn't go identify the body because that's not his biological daughter. And so I'm like, why didn't they do a paternity test then? I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah.
right now, all it is ever going to be a speculation now.
Yeah, pretty much. But then again, maybe there's nobody, I don't know, really gave a fuck at the time. It was like, it's not even worth the effort.
Yeah. So now I'm kind of like, she's asking me, like, do you believe that, that is her dad? I'm like, I believe that is her dad. I think that the woman that he married, Laura and my mom had bad blood. And so I think to start shit, Laura created this, fabricated.
Oh, that whole narrative.
Yeah. And so that became what we know today. And
so could that be true? I do know, and I'm not saying I heard, this is through my own research and stuff, that Laura, yes, did not like Dee Dee, and Dee Dee did not like Laura. That's kind of fact. I mean, that's kind of known, right? And that Laura could be pretty petty. This would be Claude's second wife after Emma died, who was Dee Dee's mother. Gypsy's grandmother. When she dies, as the story goes, the rumor, speculation, that Claude was already kind of with Laura before Emma passed away. They were possibly having an affair. This is all rumor and speculation, like I said. And that this is why Dee Dee did not like Laura, and Laura didn't like, Dee Dee, vice versa, right? Could Laura have been that vengeful and that petty to possibly plant this thought in Claude's head? Like, that's not, what? That's not your daughter, right? Everyone knows that Dee Dee's not your real biological daughter. Because, Gypsy's saying Mike Stanfield said this. And why would Gypsy lie about this? This is kind of a weird lie, right? It's not benefiting Gypsy in any way to lie about this. So I was just listening to this and going, what in the fresh hell is going on here now? Poor Dee Dee, constantly being victimized.
I think that, because Claude was so in love, whatever, he was bamboozled into thinking that that's not his daughter. So, because it's crazy, like my mom would tell me that my grandma, like she was a stay-at-home mom, and my grandpa would always be going out philandering with other women and being a man whore, and then my grandpa says the opposite, that she was a slut and ran around town on him. So I'm like, I don't fucking know.
This call is from a correctional facility, and
if Mike Stanfield made that up, yeah, you know what I mean. The deal is, the problem reporting on this stuff is none of these characters are reliable, and you're hearing secondhand information, right? And it's all rumor and speculation. But I heard the rumor, like, well, Dee Dee, and I always would go, "Oh, that's a stupid rumor," like, why would anyone make that? Why would anyone make that up in the first place, anyways? And it's kind of off. It doesn't have directly to do with the case, but it's an interesting tidbit. But then it's like Mike Stanfield, like, what do you mean he wasn't going to identify her body because he's not her real father? I don't know, you guys. These people, all of them are just nasty pieces of work,
may be monitored and recorded.
Right now it's a big ball of he said, she said, she said, he said.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm sure like half of it's at least right on both sides.
Yeah. I'm like, somebody's lying. Don't know who, but somebody's lying.
Yep. Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like you do. I feel like if he was going to deny the whole thing, if he was going to deny the whole thing. But why only put like a...
Yeah, absolutely.
The fact that there was anything sexual happened, puts out.
Yeah.
Puts out.
If it were me, I wouldn't even want like anything is in the direction. I feel like it kind of opens it up a little bit.
I think the moment...
Which is weird.
I think the moment that anybody with a child or whatever would hear, or anybody that is a parent would hear, oh, she came on to me, they're going to automatically know that you're fucking guilty because...
she's talking about the SA again. I'm going to stop it there. We're really, we're all over 2 hours and 25 minutes almost into this live. Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and take that one down and get to some more of your comments before we have to wrap this up. I hope you guys are doing okay. There's a lot of other calls I still needed to get to, but yeah, we would be here for like 6 hours, but I promise you everything I find, if I don't cover it in a live stream, I will cover it in a video. I have quite a few little research pockets going on certain calls that are lining up kind of together. Of course, there's thousands and thousands of hours of calls to get through. So let me get back to some more of your comments, guys. All right, we got Bree with the warrants, one of my favorites here, $4.99. Did you all see that she's basically a BLM activist now? Yes, the LSU thing. Hold on. You can open that door right there. It's okay. Mikey, just open the door. The dog's getting upset because the door's not all the way open. All right, Bree with the warrants. Did you all see that she's basically a BLM activist now? Some posts about LSU. Yes, I couldn't even believe it. Way too soon for her performative bullshit. Like it was like the timing was so wrong on that. So what she did, you guys. So we've all know about the racist stuff that's all come out, right? A gypsy, 100% closet racist, right? So like in the midst of all of this racist stuff coming out, she puts over on her Instagram reels like, hey, by the way, this racist incident happened over at LSU. Let's get involved. And I'm like, I didn't read the whole thing, but I'm like, are you for real, girl? You're not doing that, are you? You're not pretending like you're caring about that right now, are you? It was just, yeah, Bree with the warrants. I'm with you. Wild, wild. All right. Next up, we got at Styles 5484 $2. He sounded fucked up. How much dope was he doing? Damn, I'm not sure exactly who you're talking about. Was it Riot or Cat or who? Whatever. Probably Ryan. I think Ryan, right? Yeah, probably. Well, I'm not gonna say, but he's known to be involved in some of that. Yeah, for sure. All right, we got Evil Ghosted, one of my favorites over here, $2 listening from the bushes. Appreciate you. Thank you, Evil Ghosted. Appreciate you. Appreciate that you can take the clips that are just too much for me and I send them to him and I go, "Here you go. You go ahead and play that," cuz Becca Scoops no, I some of that I'm just like, "Okay, no. Earmuffs. I mean, I want to listen to it, but I can't. I would be too embarrassed. I would turn beet red trying to cover that sexual, like the really, really, really stuff. I can't do it. I can't do it. So thank you, Evil Ghost. I appreciate you so much. All right. Coming back at B McKenna 2024, $10. Thank you for that so much. Chip Chip wouldn't know trauma. I knew somebody was going to say that. If it slapped her in the face, good on the ant. She knows the gremlin is full of shit. She's such a liar. She makes everything up in her head. Story is always changing. I have to agree with you on that. What I know from working as a psych nurse is that if you're an SA survivor, and please, I'm not one, and I'm sure we've got some in the chat, that your story doesn't change. That's the whole thing. Hold on 1 minute. You guys can open the store. Hold on. Open the door. I'm like, open the door. All right. Sorry, guys. All right. Next up, we've got wait, did I read this? Yes. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, your story, if you're SA survivor, it's not in a constant changing way. I know that. So I appreciate that. Okay, let's get to a couple more comments here. We got at Aquarius Baby 0219 499. She is sick. You don't talk about it like that with such vulgarity. If that's happened to you, that was the other thing that threw me off because I do try to stay unbiased. Even when it comes to Gypsy, I do. The few red flags with her are that when she talked about he ate my pee, and I'm like, I can't even say that. And I'm not an SA survivor. It's the way she talks about it that to me, it throws me off. I'm not understanding. So it's hard enough to talk about using proper terms, liar. Okay, that's what the same point I was just making. So at Aquarius Baby 0219, thank you so much. Thank you for that comment. I really appreciate it so much. Very profound comment. Thank you for that. All right, let's do a couple more here. At Blue Eye Division, $2 at Blue Eye Division. Seen you before in our chat. Welcome. So glad that you're here. I firmly believe Claude, she touched him so effed up. All right, at Blue Eye Division. Thank you so much. All right, we got at Gamma Goulet, one of our very favorites, member for 8 months. I've missed you, Becca. I've missed you too, Gamma Goulet. I've seen you in different chats, and I'm so glad that you're back over here in our chat. Thank you for being a member to my channel for 8 months. That is so appreciated by everyone over here that's doing a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work we do. Next up, we've got at Busby at Beesby 27 799. You are overseas somewhere. Is this auntie that Christy tried convincing that Dee Dee was poisoning her own mother? What the F? Okay. So that story comes from, okay, so the story is when Dee Dee and Gypsy were living with Claude and Laura, the step grandmother of Gypsy, that Gypsy claimed that her mother was putting Roundup in Laura's food. So that would be Dee Dee's stepmother, Gypsy's step grandmother, if that makes any sense. In fact, this comment is good timing because I found a call that I've got stored now about Gypsy talking about the Roundup. I haven't gotten around to listening to it yet. So more to come on that. So thank you so much for that at Beesby 27. I appreciate that so much. And we've got at Insomniac 1961 coming in with 2 pounds. Gypsy destroys everyone close to her by her lies. Truth and facts. And thank you at Insomniac 1961 for that comment and for the donation. At Gina O, where's my Gina O member for 16 months? Gina O, OG, someone that's been with us since the beginning. I sincerely wonder what this aunt thinks of Gypsy's story now. You know what? Thank you for mentioning this, Gina, because exactly, I would love to know where Claudia sits now. I would love to know because it sounds like Claudia doesn't mince words, right? And I would also love to know what she thinks now about her niece and how her niece has conducted herself since she got out of prison. At LJ Neff 97 499. Thank you so much. Is that how you want to end up? That clip is going to be the clip of this live stream, I think, right? This is going to be known as is that how you want to end up? Live stream, right? Made my jaw drop, and that's hard to do given all the other stuff that's coming out. Exactly. That's exactly how I felt too when I got sent it. Shout out to the person who found it. You know who you are. Thank you for you. I appreciate you so much. You know I do. When she sent it to me, I'm like, what? Holy hell, fresh hell is this? Yeah, I just got it last night. Thank you so much for that too. Donation. Another one, $1.99. You're back at LJNF97. Also, Becca, you look fabulous. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that so much. Next up, we got P. Mabel coming in with $4.99. P. Mabel, one of my favorite people. One of Tiffany's calls with GRB, she warns GRB about Christy and how Christy has been acting online. Oh, I'd love to hear that. In Facebook chats, she tells GRB not to trust Christy. Great insight. Thank you for that. Yeah, and Claudia doesn't mince words. And Claudia knows what's going on. Next up, one of our favorite people, very, very favorite people to this channel, at Citizen Gen X, gifted 5 Becca Scoops memberships. That is so generous of you. Thank you so much. And congratulations to the people who got those. And next up at Luna Faye 93, member for 8 months. Wow, I'm late. I have to watch behind. I hope everyone is doing okay. Love to you, Becca. Love to you back at Luna Faye. Thanks for showing up anyways. And thanks for leaving this comment. And thank you most of all for being a member to my channel for 8 months. That's wonderful. Next up, we've got a member for 10 months at McCatherine. McCatherine, one of my favorite people also, member for 10 months. True stories don't change. That's the weird thing about the truth, right? You don't have to think hard to remember it. You don't have to worry about telling it. It just stays constant, right? Thanks for that, McCatherine. Appreciate you so much. Gen X coming back with $5. Cheers to Gypsy's Joe Dirt Memorial Mullet. Class of 1988. Amen. I'm class of 1982, so I definitely remember the memorial mullets. Or they weren't memorial then, they were just mullets. I remember them guys totally that was like the cool haircut to have, right? Looking back, it's just like, oh my gosh, right? Thanks for that, citizen Gen X. And we've got LJNF97 coming back. Of course, we know they've been here for 6 months. Fingered her what? Sorry, but trauma victims don't usually speak so casually about that kind of abuse. That's the other thing that blows me over about her. I just can't. And why I'm saying that is because, like I told you, and there's a call where she's talking to this other cousin, and this other cousin is like, well, I'll listen to it all, but I can tell you this other cousin is saying, like, yeah, he did it to me. So I don't, I just, the way she talks about it, and of course, you can count on me to bring you all of those calls. You will hear that call. Okay. I just haven't gotten around to listening to the whole thing, etc. Okay. Next up, we got at Beesby 27 coming back with $7.99. I hope that Baby's Ace bottles are being sterilized. Yuck. I knew someone was gonna have to say this. Thank you so much for saying it at Beesby 27. I appreciate you. All right. We got a couple more. Taminator 664, $2. Listening to a full-fledged psychopath in real time. I know, but we're all here doing it together. That's what's great about live streams. We can trauma bond together. We have the chat to, express how we feel. But yeah, pretty much that's what's going on, Taminator. We've got Insomnia 1961 coming back with £2. Dee Dee must have been exhausted with Gypsy. I say amen, and that couldn't be any more truer words. Can you imagine? Can you imagine just listening to her on phone calls? Gets me anxious and exhausted. Can you imagine if that's your kid and you're having to handle that? No wonder Dee Dee was looking for shelters. I don't know if they were for her, for Gypsy, or for both. But it sounded like Dee Dee was kind of done at the end of her life, and Gypsy just finished her off, basically. Thank you, Taminator. Jill B 3072 coming in with $6.99 Canadian dollars. Thanks for finding these calls and how much manipulation Gypsy did behind the scenes. Gross, anything to make money. Absolutely, Jill B. And we are going to keep doing it here for you as long as we can. Yeah, I mean, it does get a little exhausting with the calls. I will say this, but this is my real job, so I'm doing it, obviously. But sometimes I got to take a time out. Sometimes I just have to walk away from my computer for a little while. So yeah, thank you so much for being here, Jill B, and thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate you. At Fabulous Phoebe 9965 $5, looking so pretty today, Becca. Thank you, Fabulous Phoebe. Thank you. That's so kind of you to say, and I appreciate the $5. Thank you so much. Brittany C coming in with a $1.99 super chat. Thank you, Brittany. Thank you so much. Realtor 365 $4.99. I volunteer as tribute to fly to Lake Charles and whoop Ryan the way he did that dog. Love you, Becca. At Realtor 365, I'll come with you. I will be. Just let me know where to get on the plane. Let's go handle that, girl. Shall we go handle that? Yeah, I am such a dog lover, such an animal lover. Yeah, I can't handle it. Next up at Sleeping Incorporated, 1,000 Jewels Goat Trophy. Thank you so much at Sleepy Incorporated. Appreciate everybody that is donating with the jewels and all of those things. I see them, and thank you so much. Gina O coming back with $9.99. Keep on her, Becca. We love our girl. Oh, Gina O, I promise you, I'm not going anywhere. I'm on these calls. I'm going to keep exposing her. I've got a few other people that are helping me now. So you guys stand by. We're gonna try to group them so it's not just a random call here or there. We have a way. I can't reveal how, but we have a way to search them by keyword and stuff like that. So with that kind of technology now that we have, we're going to be able to really put together some nice live streams for you guys and some nice videos to put some of these calls, together, make them so they're not just all random. So I promise you, Gina, I'm on that, and that's what I'm dedicating my time to. Next up, Citizen Gen X, $5. Her recollection of being airlifted out of Katrina's aftermath kind of proves that she had almost no contact with Rod and Christy. Yes, that is another takeaway from that. Absolutely. Absolutely. In fact, I think in one call, like Christy's like, we didn't find you for like 2 months or something. I mean, they had no contact. Yep. And Dee Dee knew that she had nowhere else to go. Basically, Dee Dee had been even homeless for a while, and Rod and Christy didn't take her in, right? All right, thanks for that. Next up, at Gypsy Rose Sexy Ton, $2. Add a touch. She was spoiled, not abused. Amen. Amen to that at Gypsy Rose Sexy Tongue. Thank you so much. Jill B is back with $27.99. Gypsy's book should have been under fiction. Yeah, not just a memoir on her memory, right? As Melissa and Michelle are not credible narrators for Gypsy lying. MO is different in rural areas. Missouri is different in rural areas. She was in a small city, then a larger one to get access to Kansas for care. Yes. Thank you for that, Jill B. And thank you. Yeah, Missouri is different in rural areas. Yeah. She was in a small city, then the larger one to get access to Kansas for care. Yeah, absolutely. Gypsy Rose, Sexy Tongue, $2. I blame the act for using her name and got her fans. I do too. And I blame the act and then Lifetime. Both of them just as guilty for ballooning up her social media accounts. Yep, that's what happened. That's how that happened. At Citizen Gen X, $10. Thank you for that. And Nona was under the spell of Gypsy being slow and childlike, diabolical. And Gypsy let her think it, right? Gypsy let her think it. At Slayer Wolf, hey, at Slayer Wolf 369, member for 9 months. Thank you. All calls are monitored and recorded, showing the real Gypnip, right? Thank you for those calls being monitored and recorded, right? Wow. Thank you. Thank you. At 11 My Future, 350 joules and a finger heart. Thank you for that. Thank you for that so much at 11 My Future. All right. We got a couple more. At Silveri 7712, $5 Canadian. The trick to Ghost Live is to oh good. She's talking about evil ghosts. The trick to Ghost Lives is to imagine that you're listening to a Nat Geo podcast. Well, I love the whale sounds. I gotta say, yeah. Makes the whole experience easier to manage with your sanity. Okay. Thank you for the tip to get through that without vomiting, right? Yeah. Next up at Carmel Hughes Parola, I think $23.99. Thank you, Becca, for your phenomenal work. Well, at Carmel, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here, and thank you so much for that donation. I really appreciate it. We are just always humbled by the donations. At Pam DeVito, $9.99. It took me 6 years. Oh, this is good. Okay. This is the stuff that we need to hear. It took me 6 years to say a word about my assault. Wow. And many years later, I'd never go into a graphic detail like Jipossum. It's odd, and she is definitely lying. All right, at Pam DeVito. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you for sharing that with us. I really appreciate that. And thank you for the donation, the $9.99. Thank you so much. All right, guys, a couple more here. We got at DuckMom2526, 1999. Becca, love your hair. Well, thank you so much. These people just discussed to the extreme. So triggering. I escaped an abusive marriage, and this just so triggering and makes me sick. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And I know what you mean because it triggers me too. These people shit all over true survivors of shit. Sorry, sailor mouth. No, don't say you're sorry. Cussing over here, it's fine. I cuss all the time, to be honest with you. And I really appreciate you being vulnerable with us and even just divulging that part about your abusive situation. And I know I feel you. I can empathize with you because this stuff kind of knocked me off too. A lot of different situations, but I have been diagnosed with PTSD myself. And so sometimes you just don't know when you'll get triggered or when you'll end up, back into kind of a PTSD moment. So thank you, at Duck Mom. Really appreciate that comment. Really appreciate it so much. All right, next up, one of our favorites at Pink Porcupine 1999. Becca, we appreciate all the hard work. You're the goat. Well, at Pink Porcupine, you guys are the goat. I'm just your humble servant trying to serve you guys with, all of this. And I really appreciate that you guys will just even show up for my live streams to listen to me ramble. So thank you so much at Pink Porcupine. I appreciate that. Well, guys, it's a good thing that's the last of our comments because my voice is almost gone again. It is. It's gone. I was worried there. I was like, oh gosh. Okay. So that was the last of our comments for this live stream. I want to thank everybody who was here. I'm sorry that we had to do the severe trigger warning on this live stream. And you guys, please know, my emails are open to everyone and anyone. If you guys need to email me after this with any abusive issues or anything, I will definitely read all of your emails and respond. I just want to thank you guys for being here, being open to spending this time with me, to doing a little, serious trauma bonding. I mean, I don't know what else to call this at this point. And I promise you guys, I have this new way of looking up these calls, and I'm going to be on top of it for you. My email is at beccascoops@gmail.com. If any of you need anything, I am a former psych nurse. If you guys need anything, please reach out to me via email. I'll be happy to help, in any way I can. So, I think that's all I have to say for this live stream. I'm going to let you guys go. I love all of you guys. And yeah, that's going to do it for me. Thank you to all the mods, you guys. Round of applause for the mods, for my channel manager, SB, for being backstage with me, putting up the comments. SB, you did a wonderful job. And Fran, all of you guys, all of my mods, you know who you are. I'm so tired. I can't name you all right now, but you guys know who you are. Thank you. All right, guys. Becca Scoops out. Good night, guys.